Howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Totally Not Biased podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about the Donovan Mitchell trade that just happened, NFL news and 3 bold predictions, and then we're going to talk about the expansion of the college football playoff to 12 teams in 2026, and we're going to do our Mount Rushmore of sports ever, our 4 GOATs of sports. Really excited for that.
4 GOATs.
And to kick it off, we have the Donovan Mitchell trade. So, does anyone have the Donovan Mitchell trade actually pulled up?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So
yeah, you have it right here. Go for it. Yeah. So, what exactly was the trade?
The Cavs got Donovan Mitchell, and the Jazz received Colin Sexton, who is signing a 4-year sign and trade deal there. Mm-hmm. Lauri Markkanen. I'm not even going to try and say his name.
Ochai Agbaji.
Agbaji. Yeah. 3 unprotected first-round picks in 2025, 2027, and 2029, and 2 pick swaps for 2026 and 2028. Now,
so who do you think won the trade?
Absolutely, the Cavs.
Cavs.
Absolutely.
125%. Not
even close.
We're going to touch on now. It is. No, I don't agree with that. I think it's close.
Because
getting
really
the picks in the
play.
Colin Sexton, when he's played, has been good. Lauri Markkanen is good. Mm-hmm. They're not Donovan Mitchell level.
Does
players.
this put them in playoff contention? They are now a playoff team.
The Jazz? No.
In the Cavs.
The Cavs were already in the playoffs last year.
But do they contention? Like, you think like top 4 or 5 team in the East?
I think they're the 4th best team in the East now.
We'll talk about that.
Holy shit.
We'll talk about that. But I want to.
Let's go.
I kind of want to dive into my I've been in the tinfoil hat shit since this happened, bro. Mm-hmm. Because it's setting up perfect. It's setting up perfect for whether they don't have a pick or not to just what if he doesn't get drafted? What if Bronny doesn't get drafted? And then they drafted him. Like, the reason I'm saying this is because I really do think there might be a future with LeBron at the Cavs. With Darius Garland. Listen, hold on. This roster's good.
Yeah.
Like, I really like...
I think it's more likely that he ends up on the Jazz now. He's going to be drafted, and if LeBron...
The Jazz now have 15 first-round picks in the next 7
they
drafts.
Do. That's 15. What's ridiculous. But, I mean... This roster is not... So, I mean, they've got Caris LeVert. They got Robin Lopez. They got Donovan Mitchell now. Evan Mobley. They've got Darius Garland, Rondo for what it is. Chetty Osman. This team is all right.
I mean, he's valuable. Rondo's valuable.
Yeah.
He's been on a lot of playoff
Ricky Rubio, when he comes back.
He's still in the NBA, though. I thought he had some shit, Rondo, recently.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He was here when that happened.
This is a psycho motherfucker. He's crazy, dude.
But no, I think this Jared Allen. I didn't even say.
You think they could have got him and held on to Sexton, or was that kind of the dude? I thought they really
didn't want to be there. Sexton wasn't going to accept the sign. He wasn't going to sign back because he said he could get more money elsewhere. So
he was bag chasing. I just know they felt pretty good about him and Garland.
Well, Sexton, when he played, he was averaging 23 points a game. Yeah. So he was good, but he's not Donovan Mitchell. And I'm telling you,
Sexton was their 6th man.
Tinfoil hat, I'm telling you, bro, this is going to be the favorite to get LeBron when Bronny goes back, just because he can win with this. Yeah. With this roster, he can win a championship with this roster.
They are. This team might not be great this year, but they're going to be together for the next while, 4 to 6 years. So in 2 years, think about how much better this team can be.
And then they could add in LeBron.
I don't think that's a possibility.
Well, they got to get
really don't think it's possible at all.
We'll see. I think it.
Yeah, I could see the confetti falling, just the last game, just Bron and Bronny
because what was the one thing that you said when we were outside before we started this? Fuck, that fucked me up. What is it's gonna be weird seeing LeBron in 5 different jerseys,
which I think is more likely to happen than him go back to Cleveland. I just want to go over what this team was before they got Donovan Mitchell. They were the 2nd in the East before Jared Allen got hurt. Garland is considered a top 10 point guard in the entire league at bare minimum. Evan Mobley was the top 4 in, I think he ranked 3rd in the Rookie of the Year. And that's with Cade Cunningham and Scotty Barnes and Green. Mm-hmm.
I'm not big on Jalen, though.
Oh, Jalen's that guy.
Jalen's a dog, but...
Yeah. But, that's a crazy good draft class for him to be at the top of it.
Like you said, they got Ricky Rubio on there and Rondo for whatever that's worth.
Yeah, Rubio's a great role player. Mm-hmm. You got Kevin Love coming off the bench.
Kevin Love on here too.
Player.
Robin Lopez.
Yeah. LeVert is a great role player at this point.
Chetty Osman.
Yeah. Their team is very, very good. And it's young. All of them are young. Donovan Mitchell has proven that in the playoffs.
All their best players are young. I wouldn't say they're all young. Just because they've got, like you say, Kevin Love. And
their
Robin
starters
Lopez.
are all young. Kevin Love's the old head at 33. Yeah.
And Donovan Mitchell's only 25. You're getting that player for 4 picks pretty much. That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. So,
or 5 picks, right? Because it was two pick swaps.
Yep.
Oh,
what?
Oh, a little more fuel to my fucking fire. Not only do the fucking Cavaliers have a second round pick, they also have their first round pick for 2024 when Bronny would be coming.
It was, yeah. What you said?
2025 is when the first round pick.
Yeah, they didn't trade any of their picks for that draft. I don't think
2007 and
where does everyone rank them in the East? As of this year,
I don't think.
Where do you put
I don't
them in
think
the
they're
East
a
right now?
massive. I don't think they're a massive jump because I still don't. Like, if we're looking at the teams above them from last year, I mean, it was the Heat, the Celtics, the Bucks, the Sixers, the Raptors, the Bulls, the Nets, and the Hawks. I don't think they're better than any of those teams.
Really?
They're not better than any of those teams.
I don't think they're better than Atlanta.
No. Not with DeJounte Murray's addition. Not with DeJounte. This team's been to a finals. Like, we talk about all this shit with the Luka. Yeah, but they have been to an Eastern Conference final.
Let's not also, I don't want to discredit them too much. They got pretty lucky on that.
Yeah,
they got a lot of things.
There's still
Philly fell apart that last series. It was
not
pretty bad.
Close. I think it's not close.
Yeah, because
Cleveland blows this
out
of the water.
How much more do you like? How much more do you like Donovan Mitchell over? What's his
I like Donovan Mitchell.
Trae Young, yeah.
I like Donovan Mitchell more than Trae Young, but I think the team that the Hawks have, it just because
honestly, I agree with that.
The team is better. The Hawks team as a whole is better.
I don't think about that. I don't know.
I don't think that's true at all.
I don't think that's true.
I think they'd be 6 for me
with DeJounte Murray
7,
coming back.
Okay, so position to position, it would go Garland versus Trae Young.
Trae Young.
You put Trae Young. I do too. Mm-hmm. Donovan Mitchell.
DeJounte.
You take DeJounte over Donovan Mitchell?
No, Donovan.
He was just telling you who it was.
Yeah. All right, so then the small forwards. This is a toss-up.
That's what I'm trying to pull up the Hawks roster so I have them side by side.
So then the 4 is Evan Mobley or Josh Collins. Or John Collins.
Evan Mobley's better. I really like John Collins, though.
Can you name the Hawks? Or Clint Capella or Jared Allen?
Probably Capella. Allen's
Jared
potential,
Allen.
though.
I think it's Jared
Allen is good, but Clint has been a premier center in this league. Like, he has been.
Clint's good.
Is he better than Jared Allen?
Not close.
No, not at all.
You get Kevin Love come back, give you some buckets too.
So,
this team could be kind of scary.
So in the starting lineup, not including the small forward, they already have 3 positions better.
Yeah, I like that.
And you take Donovan. All right, so DeJounte or Garland. Who do you think's better?
DeJounte's so good.
Is he better
DeJounte
is better than
so
Garland?
good. He is. I don't know. I just don't know how. I don't know how they're gonna play because Trae is a 20 and 10 player every night. Like he's gonna
really
be
good.
But that is also what DeJounte's a triple double machine on top of playing. Mm-hmm. And it's not even just the starting lineup. I think their bench is better. I mean, we're talking about Aaron and Justin Holiday, Maurice Harkless, DeAndre Hunter, I can't say his fucking Timothy. I can't say he played for the Sixers. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can't say his middle and last name, but the team is more filled out for the Hawks. That's where I like them. Like in these games, is Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell going to be enough against the duos of the East where you have? So let's just go. Is Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell enough to go over KD and Kyrie? No.
So
are they enough to go over DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine?
They're 100% better than the Bulls.
No.
Yeah, the Bulls.
By the Bulls.
Y'all are smoking dick.
I'm a Bulls fan.
No.
The Bulls did nothing this offseason to help their team.
But they were one of the best teams in the East, and Lonzo was hurt.
and they only beat bad teams. They
That's
didn't
true.
beat good teams.
They didn't beat any good teams.
They beat.
They really didn't.
They almost got swept by the Bucks. Not to discredit
Harden
the Bucks,
and Harden and Embiid.
I think
No.
I think it's close.
What?
No,
Yeah,
you
I
are
think it's
smoking
close.
dick.
I wouldn't
bro.
even say.
That's not close
I wouldn't even
at
say
all.
Harden right now.
That's not close at all. With
That'd
just
be the team
Embiid.
they're under, though.
Dude,
the
Just
Sixers.
Embiid, it's not close. at
Do
all.
Maxey and Embiid and do like
No,
'cause
I know.
Harden
Harden is Harden.
We're making assumptions on Harden. Like if he's not,
Yeah,
what
but he's been in.
then-
He looks like he's been in shape
Okay,
from
but you
training.
can't-
I don't know. This
Can't
Cavs
say he's
team's
gonna be
Chris
bad.
Middleton and Giannis.
He also took
No.
a step back last year. Let's not sleep.
Chris
on
Middleton and Giannis.
No,
Jason Tatum or Jalen Brown.
No, they're not better than the
They're
top.
not. Their
top
duo
elite.
is not better than any
No.
of the teams above them, other than the Raptors.
Then hold on.
And they were
The
below
Nets,
all these
the
teams.
Nets next year is more than likely getting blown up. It doesn't seem like they want to keep Kyrie, and he's
KD's at least staying though. That automatically.
They're not going to go
puts
through
them
this
over.
circus again. I think they're going to lock in. They can't
Yeah,
get through this
that's
circus
what I'm
again.
saying. On top of the fact that Kyrie wants to stay there and KD not going anywhere, you're not better than the Nets.
Yeah. So
and we're also
you're
not
putting
talking
it
about the
nine?
fact that the Knicks could be better. I don't think Jalen Brunson's going to
The
be crazy.
Knicks?
The Knicks could
You're
be
out of
better.
your mind.
The Knicks didn't even want Donnie.
I know.
want to
but-
talk about that too. They
but
walked away.
I'm
Monday
just
from the
saying
deal.
they could be
Yeah.
better.
They could have given him all the money in the world
I'm
and had
saying they
Donnie
could-
on that
yeah.
roster,
I'm
and they
saying
fucking walked
they could
away.
Be better, but the team that I'm also
Poverty.
not even mentioned, the fucking Hornets were a game behind them.
are they better?
LaMelo and Miles Bridges,
Okay.
like these. This is this.
Or not.
He doesn't think the Cavs
alright,
got any better.
So hold on.
I'm not saying
The
that.
Cavs were the second best team in the East before Jared Allen got hurt, and Evan
What is,
Mobley.
so they were going to be the second best team
They were-
all year. They were
gonna have the
going to
second
finish
best
number
record.
2.
They were going to have the second best record, and Evan Mobley got hurt. Their two biggest defensive players.
yeah.
they're literal.
You have more faith in the fact that they got Mitchell.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
You have
Okay.
a lot
This.
of-
Okay.
You
This is
have
their
faith
depth
in
chart.
Mitchell,
So
but
all right, I want to
Whereas
go
he
through everyone's
doesn't.
rankings. You put them at 9. You said they didn't get any better.
No,
and you're
I-
possibly getting worse. You're saying the 10th and the 11th.
The 9th team in the East.
Absolutely insane. Where do you?
That's
rank them?
that's kind of crazy.
Because I'm obviously the highest.
no, I mean I,
definitely-
don't think they're ninth.
You just said every team that they were worse.
No,
that
because
beat
I
them
don't
last
think
year.
I don't think the Raptors are going to be better than them. I
You
think
move them up to 8.
but like if we're just going off of if we're going off of how the East was last year, yes, I'm making the
Okay,
point
hey,
that they're not going to be.
Let's
better
put this
than
in
these
perspective.
teams.
This is like their official depth chart. Okay, so it'd be Darius Garland, Donnie,
Yes.
Isaiah Okoro at small forward,
Yes, because LeVert's
Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen. And then the second unit coming in would be Raul Neto,
Their fucking
Karis
second
LeVert,
unit's ridiculous.
Karis LeVert,
Yes.
Kevin Love,
Yeah.
and then interchange.
Kevin
them.
Love, who hasn't played in 2 years. Karis LeVert's the only known player on that
That's a
bench.
good
that
six
you
man
mentioned.
though. That starting
That's
lineup
one
was
person.
solid.
That's 6 players
And
compared to
Rubio-
the East.
and
It looks
Rubio-
like
Okay.
their guys
Who
that
was
are
a
coming in.
dogfight.
Their guys that are coming into rotation is at least.
The East is a dogfight. What do you mean? There was 4 teams with 51 wins,
It was last year.
Yeah, but
and it's going to be this year.
they significantly upgraded over
Yes.
Colin Sexton to.
I'm not saying that
Donovan
they didn't
Mitchell.
upgrade. I'm just
But
saying.
if we're talking about teams that are better than them, I would only take about 4, maybe 5.
That's
That's where
I think
at.
it's arguable for. But keep
Nets-
They're like at the middle of the pack when it comes to the playoff teams. So I think that the Bucks are better, the Nets
Yes.
are better, Sixers are better, Miami's better.
Boston.
Yeah, Boston for sure. That's my bad. Maybe the Hawks. I don't know for sure about the Hawks. They're like
Chicago.
right there.
Like, Chicago was
I like
better
Trae
than
Young a
them.
lot. Like, but that's where I'm at. Like,
he's a sleeper for MVP for me.
yeah.
And
But
Wait,
I'm
who?
not going much further.
Trae
than
Young.
that. I don't think there's much
I think he's a
teams
sleeper MVP.
beyond that.
Turns the ball over a lot. I wish if he calms down on
It's
that.
not it's not that they didn't get better. It's that the top of the East is a dogfight.
I'm
And
with
they're
you
not
on
better
that.
than the
I'm
top.
with
You're
you on
really
that.
arguing Chicago and the Hawks.
Not
Yeah,
close.
no.
I
And then
think
you're
it's
kind of
not
bringing in the
close.
Hornets and other
They're
people
better than
who.
the Raptors. So if we're doing that, yes, they would be. I would even take them over the Hawks. So they would be the 7th seed if we're correcting it, because the Nets would go up, the Hawks would go down, and they would be the 7th seed.
Donnie and them have carried that team to best records in the West. So I mean, he's
He
inserted
also-
as your
but
leader
the
now.
team was good.
Yeah, he's got a good, solid team around him
Rudy
now.
Conley's
Gobert,
not better
it's-
than Garland.
yeah.
I agree with that
Not even close.
for sure.
Not close.
Not now.
It's not close.
That's what I'm saying.
But
and he played with them now. What
but I'm saying Mike.
What's your argument here?
The Mike Conley.
Mike Conley's prime was better. It didn't fucking matter.
That's
he
what
didn't
I'm
play with him
saying.
in his prime.
Hey, he got a bag though.
He got way overpaid.
I think he's slept on too.
Mike Conley is.
He's been consistently just.
He's a
great.
So for his career,
Mike
he
Conley.
is
we're not talking career. We're talking about the trade that just happened. We're talking about.
Okay, but all right. Then if we
Donnie's with some young dogs now, and he's got.
So if we even want to go off
Kevin
of
Love,
last
too.
year, he was a. I'm really just trying to look at shooting splits. So he was an 80% free throw shooter and 40. He was an 80% free throw shooter, 40% 3-point shooter, and and he was making 43% of his shots from the field on shooting 6 attempts from the 3. So 40% on 6 attempts from the 3 is really good. I'm not saying that he's better than Conley, I'm not saying that he's better than Garland, but the team that the Jazz had was better than the team that he has now with the Cavs. That's just a fact. They had a defensive player of the year.
It's literally not.
I don't think so. And they're in the East.
His team is better. I think he's better with this.
So you're telling me into that top.
So you're telling me that Donovan Mitchell's best Utah team is not better than this team?
We're talking about last year.
We're talking
last year.
Well, yeah, we're talking last year. They're blowing it up, but I'm talking.
Last year they didn't blow it up. Last year was their last chance, and they fucking sucked.
No, they blew it up. They're blowing it up.
They're blowing it up now because they suck. Because it didn't work.
Because they suck.
All right, here's my rankings. The Heat did not get any better,
and they're not better than the Heat.
Yeah,
the Bucks are number 1. The Bucks are the best team in the East.
Yes.
The Celtics, I don't know if they're as good as they showed last year. But the Celtics went to the damn championship. They're the second best team in the East for me.
Okay.
The third...
The Nets?
...is the Nets.
Okay.
And then I put Cleveland.
Really? Over Philly, dude?
Over Philly?
Yeah. What the fuck?
You all are hyping
over Philly and Chicago. We're not. We're hyping up Joel Embiid, who's winning MVP.
You're good.
I get it.
Yeah,
no, I haven't gone through it.
You're good.
And then I put the Sixers because it's questionable. You're really dependent on Tyrese... Maxey, I think is his last name.
Yeah.
It's for him to develop.
They were 7 games better than them. You think Donovan Mitchell makes them 7 games better than them?
They've still got
They were
Harden
7
too, man.
games after injury.
This is blasphemy.
After injury.
I don't care about their injury. They're not better than the Sixers. They are
sorry.
not better than Joel Embiid. They are not better than James Harden. They are not better than Tyrese Maxey and the team that they have. I love it. I'm sorry.
And then the Heat.
It's just blasphemy. The blasphemy.
Okay, all right. And then the Heat did not get any fucking better. They went all in on Donovan Mitchell, couldn't get him.
Okay.
And they went all in on Kevin Durant, couldn't get him. Their team played horrible. They played absolutely horrible in the playoffs. They had one player. Now, in the playoffs, I would take the Heat over the Cavs because of experience. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the regular season.
Yeah.
They were the second fucking best team. They were going to have the second best until players got hurt and they fell behind.
They're not the second best team in the East.
I didn't say they were.
They had the second best record.
But that doesn't translate to them being the second best team.
I agree with that. Well, what about Utah? Fucking Utah's been top of the West multiple years, and they never were the first best team in the West.
Yeah, I never.
We're not comparing. If they can still win games to get to that higher seed, they're playing. They're playing like the Hawks or Chicago.
This is not a middle. Like this is a middle of the pack East team.
I think you.
It really
they are
really
sleeping. Is their highest ceiling. They are not better than Miami. They're not better than the Celtics. They're not better than the Bucks. They're not better than the Sixers. 5 is their ceiling. But I still think the Bulls are going to be better and the Nets are going to be better. So that's 7.
So listen.
Yeah, I don't know how you take them over the Nets, man. They were the favorite.
I'm not hating on this.
Fully loaded. I just
the
don't
East
see it.
is a dog
and I
fight.
put the Nets over them. I did. But here's the other thing that I was trying to get at. Next year or the year after, Evan Mobley should take that big leap that everyone thinks he's going to. Mm-hmm. He should get tremendously better. Jared Allen is still young. He should be at least as good as he is, if not becoming an all-star. Mobley should be an all-star.
Top 3 center in the East?
I put him at arguably the second.
You already have him at the second best?
No, I put him at the third best, but I think it's arguable for the second against Bam.
Well,
because it goes Embiid is 1.
Yeah.
Bam
you think he's
2.
Good? Is he on par with Bam in your eyes, you think?
Yes.
Really?
So Bam's really good.
This is the difference for me.
It's close, but
his interior defense is better. Jared Allen's is.
Yeah, for sure.
his rebounding.
Oh, you're comparing Jared Allen to
He's just
Bam?
big.
Hell no.
Yes.
He's way bigger. He's just bigger than Bam.
His rebounding is better.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's that guy. They're not letting him go. I don't see it
Bam is a
either.
better player.
But Bam's close in those. The thing is not close in is Bam is so much better at perimeter defense.
Yeah.
And that's why Bam is 2 and Jared Allen
You do
is
have,
the third best.
I think he's a better
You do have
scorer.
Allen and Mobley though too, so you got interchangeable.
Yes.
He's a better down low scorer
Teams,
too. Like
Yeah.
he definitely can. Does Jared Allen actually shoot threes?
I don't believe
I don't
he's
think so.
he is in the
Jared
paint.
Allen
Bam doesn't
is a
either, but I'm
defensive-
saying like as a
yeah, that's
scorer,
like-
I think that Bam is more consistent probably.
And then you look at So like you have a top 3 center in the East. In 2 years, it could be. I still think he'll be the third best.
You are
Evan
going
Mobley-
off of potential, where I am going off of these teams are proven.
Yeah,
Robin Lopez,
I didn't
too.
go off of potential. I literally went off of last year. Jared
Robin
Allen was the
Lopez
third
wasn't
best.
even starting.
I'm just
He's-
saying they've got depth everywhere with Donnie coming in.
Yeah.
I
don't
like
know.
it, but they're
He's going to lead that team. I think he's.
Yeah.
not better than.
I will
5 or
disagree with
6.
the take on the Sixers just because like you're taking into account their playoff performance.
Yeah.
If they make the playoffs,
you're
Embiid's
relying
not
on
letting them do
Tobias
that.
Harris, like if they could get rid of Tobias, like Tobias isn't great for his contract, I don't think.
Yeah.
But like if they could upgrade from him, maybe
I like what they did this year. I like the PJ Tucker addition. I
Yeah.
really do. I just don't think that they've taken that
I can't
giant
find
step
it.
up. And I actually think Embiid's probably my favorite for the MVP this year.
That starting lineup's disgusting.
yeah, I don't think Embiid's going to be stepping off at all. Hopefully he plays all the games
I don't
too.
think so
So
either.
if James
But-
Harden can get back to what he was,
So this
that's really the question.
another-
This
You said you're
update
not
has
going
them
off of-
7.
You
Which
said
is-
you're not going off of potential. You literally was like, "Oh, James Harden didn't play as good last year, but he looks like
James
he's in
Harden.
shape."
James Harden can play what he did last year, and the Sixers are still going to be better.
I
than
assume
the
you're doing the
Cavs.
same thing with the
not
Clippers
necessarily.
with PG and Kawhi being healthy. You kind of have to assume the
James
best
can't choke in the
roster,
playoffs
that's how
like
it
he
looks.
did for one. Second,
Yeah.
Tobias Harris needs to be way better for his contract.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah,
the biggest hole in the team because Tyrese Maxey's really fucking good.
Yeah, but look at the
Maxey's
ball
really good.
share. Look
But
who's
you
got to
have
share the
to-
ball with too. That-
Matthias
see that-
Thybulle's really good.
you have to see that
Yes.
improvement from Maxey, and I think you will.
I need to see the improvement from James. James really fucking was disappointing last year for
James,
what it was.
with what he was last year, the Sixers are still better.
Yeah,
than
that
the
starting
Cavs.
five
I think
is
that's
better
part of
than
it.
this starting five.
Yeah, but moving
Do you think
forward-
the Sixers starting 5 is better than?
Yes.
Yeah.
you're going off
Without
of the
doubt.
context
So
of
wild.
what the Cavs were last year, but
And,
they're-
like-
they've
No,
they have
I'm going off
dramatically
of them
improved.
with. I'm going off of them with Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell. It makes them like infinitely better. I
Yes,
think.
it makes them better, but it does not make them better than the Sixers.
They're not better than
see.
the Sixers.
They're
It's-
not
it's
better
close.
than the Sixers.
I think-
So
I
you
mean,
have them being a top 4 or 5
I'm
team
on
in
board
the
with
East.
Yes.
the Sixers being better now, but I could see
Yes.
where you're coming from.
Yeah, in a year or two,
Because
James
it could
Harden
fall
is
apart
already
for them.
getting worse.
Yeah.
In a year or two, all right. So this is what I was trying to get at. James Harden is getting worse. So if he digresses
Continues.
in 2 years, this Cavs team is young. They're all looking like they're going to be better, right? I don't think anyone here is going. Donovan Mitchell is going to be.
That was a question
A
we
lot
had coming
worse in
in.
2 years.
If you had to rank your top 5 shooting guards, like in the entire league, is Mitchell in the top 5?
I think so.
Is he better than
Without-
James Harden? Is he better than Harden right now?
James Harden plays a 1, but
Right
yes,
now.
I would.
Well, I'm saying
I would
because
put Donovan
Maxey
Mitchell.
plays
Maxey's their
the,
point guard, so he's a
So
shooting
okay,
guard.
so yeah,
James
I would
could be
put-
handling the ball.
I would put Donovan Mitchell over James Harden right now.
right now. Yeah, that's
So,
how I
like
feel.
this season. Yes.
I feel that. I feel the same way. I think DeRozan's probably better. I think that who else I go with? Booker.
Clay.
Booker's probably
I mean,
better.
no, I
Clay
wouldn't
was
say-
right there.
I wouldn't say Clay.
So,
just
okay,
off
I
of
looked
this.
it up.
Well, Wiggins. I mean, we can't.
Jimmy Butler.
This one has Donovan too,
Yes,
but
that's
I
what
don't
was
agree
saying.
with that.
I don't agree with it either, but I mean it's arguable. Number 1, Booker. It's an arguable one. 2 is Mitchell on this list. 3 is Ant.
Yeah, this has Beal 6. I can't listen to that list.
4. It also probably went off of that he missed 90% of last year.
Yeah.
4, Zach LaVine.
Oh man. What?
Jordan Poole at 5 is
That's ridiculous.
that's not. Desmond Bain at 6. I love that. James Harden at 7. I think that's.
That's kind of low.
I take him over some of the people. Jalen Green at 8 is kind of crazy. This list.
They got a lot
Tyler
of
Hero
young,
at
young
9,
players on there.
Oh,
and then
man.
Bradley Beal at 10.
Oh no.
RJ.
Bradley
CJ.
Beal.
What list is that? Tyler Hero over Bradley Beal?
Bradley Beal's getting slept on. That's
That's
disrespectful. Yeah,
ridiculous.
that's disrespectful.
But
I
wait,
agree
how many
with
of those players are you like? They're for sure over Donovan.
They're young
Mitchell.
guys who had a
None of the ones you named.
good
Really.
year.
Devin Booker is for
Well,
sure
yeah,
better.
Devin for sure. I think he's better.
But like,
I think Bradley Beal's better than Donovan Mitchell.
okay, so you're moving up to
But-
the third. CJ, do you want to argue CJ? No. All right, so he's the third best shooting guard in the league. And
that list is disrespectful.
Cavs a championship team.
I didn't say they were.
No, I agree with this. Them being
he was saying that they were fourth or fifth on his list. He had 4 teams. It was Boston.
This has the Cavs going to be in fourth.
It was Boston, Milwaukee, the Nets, and then it was no. I'm trying to think.
You had them fifth,
Nets, and then Cavs at fourth.
Okay.
You have Miami below them.
That's the 2 questionable. I think you could.
So Miami and Philly.
Miami and Philly are questionable.
Okay.
Do you think heads above Chicago and
yes?
I don't see how you can say that when Miami has been.
The Raptors.
But he's more optimistic about what they could be. That's the thing. Like that's where the argument is, and it's not.
Even
it's not
if they could be, they're
So,
not better than the top 4.
A lot of youth.
At least.
A lot of
other
youth.
Part of this is you have to think Garland wasn't their guy last year.
No,
he wasn't until Colin.
And he's
Sexton,
not going to be the guy this year.
No shit.
Now he's not.
Yeah, no shit.
He's going to be relegated.
Got hurt, and then Garland stepped in, and because he didn't have to step on anyone's shoes, he blossomed into the player he was as a top 10 point guard.
I think we're overrating. I think you are overrating this roster.
I think it's
their starting lineup is good. Their bench is not noticeable outside of Caris LeVert.
The only teams that you can really talk about being over them is Philly and Miami. Those are like those are the ones I have issues with.
Caris LeVert's looking good as a 6th man of the year. Though.
I'm not completely against what you're saying.
But that's what I'm saying. Like this. You're talking about Kevin Love can play.
But you're making an argument for the Hornets in fucking Chicago and like
because
I don't want to hear the Hornets. Y'all need to drop
Chicago maybe
because got worse.
Yeah, just
they lost their second best player, third maybe.
Yeah, arguably, I forgot about Miles.
So where do they rank on your list? Where would they be on your list?
I just think that. Like
objectively,
honestly,
just stepping back, looking at the rosters.
The only other teams I would have over them right now is probably Miami and Philly. Those are the only 2.
And if they take a step back this year,
and then the other 4,
crazy.
Yeah, and then the 4 you named 4.
Okay, Milwaukee, Boston,
6, 7, somewhere around there.
So Boston's a young
6
team.
or 7.
Yeah, Boston's.
This
a young
roster's
team.
not great.
You're not even disagreeing with that.
I'm not.
Okay.
That's why I pulled up the roster.
He has them 4th.
The depth.
They're not the 4th best team in the East.
You're talking about 2 teams that could regress to the point. Well, I don't think. Well, that's where we're different.
Yes.
Is that you don't think James is going to regress any more than he already has?
The Heat
they have the playoff experience.
The Heat lost players, didn't gain any.
Yeah, but they still have their core.
But they still have the pedigree to be better.
They still have their core.
Their coaching's better. Their team is deeper. Their top players are better.
Talking about the Heat?
I get it.
Yes,
I get it, and that's why I'm not arguing.
But you're also disregarding the fact that they could grow even more with this.
I don't know. Go look at their roster. Do you find their depth?
I'm looking at it.
I don't think their depth is.
Their starting lineup is good, and then their depth is a bunch of question marks.
You got some big guy depth. Yeah, you got some big guy depth, and then.
Robin Lopez is 34.
That,
Kevin Love hasn't played in 2 fucking years. You can't tell me anybody else on this team.
Well, you got Ricky Rubio, who's a good
31. I didn't know he was fucking 31.
Tore his ACL.
Yeah, and he's coming off
He'll
an ACL.
be okay. He tore his ACL. No, he's 31 and tore his ACL.
It's not great.
36 and has bounced around teams every year
at all.
for the past 3 years.
You're
like
also saying you're acting like a lot of teams in the NBA are digging really deep into their depth anyway.
How many minutes?
That's what people
That
guess
is
they
what
are.
saved the Celtics.
That
is what saved the Celtics in the playoffs.
That was how their team was.
They were running 12 people at you every
best,
game, and you couldn't do anything.
Some of the best teams in the NBA.
Depth is the fucking. That's why the fucking Warriors won the West. Is because they were running 10, 12 players at you every game. You can't do anything about that. Go look at the teams that you're talking about. The teams that were the best teams were the deepest teams.
I understand you're talking about the best teams in the NBA.
Outliers on that were the Sixers, where Joel Embiid was just so good you couldn't do anything. Phoenix, one of the deepest teams in the league. The Clippers, they're talking about us being one of the best teams in the league. Why? Because we can throw 12 fucking players at you every game. I can throw 6 from the Cavs.
The Clippers
That's it.
The Clippers,
6 from the Cavs.
The Clippers are one of the best teams.
Yeah, you're talking. We're not putting them on the same pedestal as the Cavs.
But our depth is what saves us. You're talking about our 2 superstars, but Kawhi wasn't there when Paul George was playing. Reggie Jackson was. Yes. Nicholas Batum was. All these bench players. Yeah. Like this is going to be the problem with this team.
Way too much into account.
I'm not taking way too much. Like, everything that I'm saying.
Look, I think we'll see.
You're criticizing their bench.
Okay, I'm going to get my rankings because I think you all are a little.
All right.
So you had them top 4. You had them top. You said 6 or 7, but now
7. That's where I'm at.
Okay, and you were around that same
6 or 7.
Yeah, just because we think the Sixers and Miami are better. That's it.
And I just don't see that they improved.
What do you have?
I love their holding Donnie in such high regard because he really is.
I love that, but it's the team.
I mean, it'd probably be Milwaukee or Celtics interchangeable. Yeah. I'm a Celtics fan, so I hope they're right back in that spot.
Yeah,
Milwaukee
they should be.
And
Celtics.
That was the other thing I was trying to bring up real quick. The Celtics are the only other young team in the East. They're going to be insane.
They got Malcolm Brogdon.
I love the Celtics. Like, you're not sleeping on the Celtics?
Did they lose Marcus Smart?
No.
Okay,
they still have Marcus Smart.
They're
good.
They're a squad. They're the only other team in the East that is so young and has that super moving forward.
What about Milwaukee? Did they get any better?
Hold on.
Robert Williams.
I got a question. Right the fuck now.
Before you do that, let him do his.
Yeah, it's quick.
He has not done his.
So Milwaukee, Boston, Brooklyn.
Yes.
Full health. I'm still real big. I'm pretty big on Philly still. I think they're going to be up there. 100%. I don't see how you can put them above Miami.
I get it.
With Pat Riley, all top to bottom, there's just no way.
Yeah.
Then that's kind of where you get into the question marks. I still wouldn't put them above Chicago. I think it's close.
Wow.
Ooh.
Then I do Cleveland.
Chicago was good, and Lonzo was hurt.
Yeah,
I would put them.
I'd put them right behind them at 7.
Lonzo
and
was
then
hurt.
Probably Atlanta at 8. I think that's a.
They had 2 shooting guards bringing the ball down
a fun playoff
court
too.
and fucking it up.
I really like that.
So
really quick
after Chicago.
Yeah.
At 7. Okay.
I don't think it's a horrible take.
But it's close.
Agree.
But their ceiling, I think their ceiling is up there in that Miami push in Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's where we all agree with you.
And I think the craziest thing here is you were like, Chicago had a player hurt. I don't give a fuck that the Cavs had anyone hurt. It doesn't change shit.
Yeah.
One player for the Bulls, not their best player, versus...
It's a center and point guard are a lot different.
Look at the Celtics, though. They lost Williams. They were a different team.
That's missing a wide receiver and missing your quarterback.
That's a big deal.
Star receiver. But there's one that missing your quarterback is worse.
Your 7-footer.
I like Jared Allen, but your point guard that facilitates the offense, that runs everything,
the Cavs are a defensive
just as important.
Team first, and you lost one of your biggest defensive assets.
Yeah, Jared Allen's
what was
monster.
I get
that. I was going to say, because you were talking about young teams that have it, who would you put? Would you have Donovan or Jason better?
Tatum?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not close as Tatum.
I was
there's no disrespect to Donovan Mitchell, but Tatum is on another level.
Tatum can go nuclear. That's why people compare him to Jalen, because they've watched Jalen Brown drop 40 a night, but it's
all right.
We are
longevity for your future. You want Jason Tatum. You face your franchise.
We do need to move on, but I feel like we didn't give any credit to this Raptors team that was 5th last year with an 18-year-old that is probably...
I brought him up. I said that the Raptors could still be better than
I think they're just boring. They're kind of a boring team. They're kind of under the radar.
I can make an argument that every team that was better than the Cavs last year is still going to be better than them, other than the Hawks. But that's going to be close.
You wouldn't, because they got Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, this team's got to prove themselves.
So
they
go up 2 spots.
You're making an argument on what they could be, whereas we know what Donovan Mitchell is, and we know how the Cavs were last year, getting back 2 of their best players.
I just really think we're overrating this Cavs roster. Their starting lineup is good. Their bench is not. They don't have depth.
I've never been more excited for you to watch a team and just be completely wrong on it. I truly think that you are the most, you've slept on this team.
I'm not sleeping on it. I'm who on this bench is good?
A lot of youth. A lot of youth.
Their youth is in their starting lineup, though.
Yeah. Let's wrap it up. We'll move on to
this team's not good.
Yeah. All right. Now we're moving on to our second segment, which will be NFL news, and we're all going to have 3 bold predictions going into this season. So first, let's kick this off with the NFL news. Jacob, you have it all.
All right, cool. So there's quite a bit that's happened in the last couple of days as well. Jason Peters, longtime Eagles legend, is looking into signing with the Cowboys.
We need you, bro.
Which is kind of sad because, it means that Tyler Smith isn't what he was expected to be right now. He'll probably have to play guard, I think, for y'all, which is cool.
I'm sick of
if Jason Peters could play as good as he did with the Bears last year, they should be decent. Because, he was good. His grade was around, for PFF, was around 70, 75, something like that. Mm-hmm. So that's good. We also have, I'm trying to think of everything. You had the Broncos giving Russell Wilson an extension.
Yeah.
It was
that a surprise to absolutely anyone?
No, I feel like he's going to end his career.
It kind of surprised me it took as long as it did.
Let's ride.
I figured they would have went on and locked him in.
Yeah, they extended him for, what was it? Shit, I'm sorry.
That was such a smooth, quick breakup from the Seahawks. It's just see ya, peace out, y'all do your thing.
Well, yeah, it was the same thing I see in the sense of the Lions, where it was we asked you, we did what we could with you. We're not gonna make it
So it was 5 years, $245 million.
Like 160 something. Like,
That is the extension that he got. It's pretty crazy.
like 39 a year or something like that annually.
We have a couple of trades that happened as well. Minnesota traded the Eagles 2 late round picks in next year's draft and the following draft for Jalen Reagor. We'll touch more on that later. I don't really want to talk about it right now.
He might return punts for him.
Yeah, that's what they're expecting of special teams, like a special teams stalwart, I guess. And then we had the Eagles trading for C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
That really surprised me. When I went back and looked at who he was, I'm like, why couldn't they get something figured out?
They couldn't sign him because
him?
he's expecting like top – because he's saying he's a nickel, which he's probably going to play the Malcolm Jenkins role from our defense a couple years ago. That's what it reminds me of. But he's probably going to end up getting an extension with the Eagles, and that's awesome because he's a underrated star defensive player. He's been that for the Saints for a while.
Yeah, y'all pulling some Ram shit out of your wallets, just going out and getting all these.
Yeah, that's why we're
guys who are either unhappy or they're
going to be talking more about
going to come back and just do
in,
the most for you all.
From my end, I think.
Yeah, y'all are getting better and better every week. It's pissing me off.
Yeah, it's wild. But there was also Derrick Henry. He got a pay increase. Mm-hmm. I think that they're enticing him to try to stick around with Tennessee.
You better be like, I ain't running the ball 40 times a game.
Yeah.
I ain't going to last much longer. I better figure something out.
And to touch back on Russell Wilson's contract, I think that something with Lamar that's happened within the last couple of days, he's liking a bunch of shit on Twitter relating to Miami.
Yeah.
And
smart.
What?
He deserves
I'll
the
become a
contract
Miami
he
fan.
He deserves the contract.
I'll become a Miami fan. I'm sorry, no.
Well, he's got all the leverage. He's like, I'm already getting MVP in this league.
we could talk about that a little bit. Do you guys think he stays with Baltimore?
Yes.
Yes,
For life. He's going to retire. Yeah.
Baltimore's going to give him that contract he wants.
That goes for him and John Harbaugh.
It doesn't matter what the number is.
He wants, from my understanding, he wants the Deshaun Watson
Fully
contract.
guaranteed.
He wants a fully guaranteed.
Yep.
He deserves it. The Ravens would be one of the dumbest teams I've ever seen if they don't do it. And I think everyone thinks that.
They're ran so well, I just don't see them let it.
Do they do what they did with Mahomes, though? What the Chiefs did with Mahomes, they give him a longer-term deal?
No.
Or do they fully guarantee, like,
You mean like
4
10 years, 8 to 10 years?
You can't
No.
give a running quarterback, no matter who it is, that type of contract. I mean, 10 years to bet on his legs staying or him being
that's
healthy.
that's where the
like,
structure of the
not
contract comes in. It's like maybe they fully guarantee up to like 5 years on a 10-year deal or something. Like really entice him to like we're being loyal here.
Is he holding? Is he not like? Is it at an impasse for the length? I don't think that's been.
Well, he's already said that like
guarantees.
he doesn't. He's already came out and said early into like them like doing their.
He and his
contract
mother are the ones that
negotiation
represent themselves.
I'm willing
though.
to play.
Like
this
he's
year.
not being
Like
represented.
he's willing to play.
But
This
he also
year
gave a
without
deadline
contract.
recently on having something.
Well, it's probably
done.
changed recently, but I know at the beginning he was more on like the I'll just play and like make you guys pay me. But
If I had to predict, I'd say before week 1, like going into Friday, Saturday, we'll see something done
Yeah, I think it'll come very
with
soon
Lamar
too.
Jackson.
It definitely should.
That Deshaun contract has to be the baseline around Kyler Murray too. He's like I said, he's got leverage. He's also got top to bottom, great owner, great coach. They're not letting him go.
Yeah, and I think the other I think the whole Miami thing is him just being like, look, I can't leave, and you see the reaction from everyone was like, oh, if he left, it'd be done, and like I think that's kind of where he was getting with all that. I don't think he actually wants to leave. I think he does want to be a Raven, and
Can you all specify what it was said? Because I hadn't seen.
he just liked a bunch of like, I think he liked a jersey,
It was him photoshopped into a Miami jersey.
and he liked it.
What if it's just he likes the way it looks and like a culture thing?
It could have been, but
well, he's from Florida.
Yeah,
Like,
that
it's-
too. Like
it's-
if I was in the NFL, I probably wouldn't have that in the back of my head. Oh, when I like this, someone's going to take it as
I
this.
think he's-
I'm like, man, they're kind of cool. Like, good job on the edit or something like that.
I
You
think
know what I mean?
he's-
Miami would
I
have.
think
I think
that
Miami would have
he's
already
playing.
tried.
I mean, I'm
figured
sure
some
he
shit out.
has to think like that, but like, I don't know.
I think Miami would have already.
That'd be
kind of
shady in the middle of contract. Like,
They might have. Maybe they sent the trade over and was like, "What do you want?" And they were probably like,
there's
"He's
no
not up
way
for trade."
that would have
Yeah.
leaked. That had to have leaked.
Yeah.
I want to
don't
make
think
it
it's-
clear, if he does end up in Miami, they're easily the Super Bowl favorite for me.
No.
So y'all are saying it's kind of like a Kyler thing, like unfollowing shit, kind of trying to get somebody's attention.
Do you want to go into that? Because I don't agree.
I don't see Lamar as that kind of person.
We're just updating on the news. We can talk about that later, maybe on another day. But
I think he's a Raven for life. I
don't even think it happens. But I'm just saying, like, for me, Miami's that good of a roster that he makes them that much better.
Yeah.
The Ravens, he's carried the Ravens. His winning percentage is tops of the league. There's no way.
Yeah.
He's not leaving Baltimore.
1 second. Who is that?
Right here. I don't know. I don't see anybody.
Avery, what are you doing? Well, get that away from the steps, please. Going in a whole other side of the house.
He's like, actually, go to our house.
I pulled up the top 5 rated quarterbacks in college football.
I forgot all about Caleb Williams.
And I pulled up their stats from all of them last night. So we have at least something.
Caleb
I knew you had most of it, but at least this will be like we can compare 5
Yeah,
people.
because I forgot all about Caleb. He's a sophomore. That's why.
Yeah.
We can talk about cuts, too.
It's also funny y'all say that because the Dolphins head coach says the goal for the run game is 30 carries per game this season.
Mm-hmm.
Between Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert, Miles Gaskins.
I forgot about Gaskin. Weren't they shopping one of them? Is either Gaskin or Mostert? I'm pretty sure they were shopping.
Well, no, they paid Mostert.
Well, then it's Gaskin. Then they've been taking calls on Gaskins.
I don't. Yeah, that'd be. I would love.
That's funny. I see when I heard about the contract stuff stalling, I never thought that Lamar would be. What if he isn't home? Well, you motherfuckers taking their sweet time and go some pictures.
And I think that another thing was
like some orange.
The whole Russell contract was supposed to be like he didn't get fully guaranteed, and I think Lamar was like, I'm not him. This is my first real big contract.
Right.
I'm an MVP.
Guaranteed.
He's never won MVP.
Yeah,
it's not his fault. He's asking for what he's asking for.
It's the market.
It's the Browns' fault.
He's a mid-20s-year-old quarterback. He's going to get market value.
If you give this to Justin Herbert, nobody bats an eye.
No.
You give this to Lamar, nobody bats an eye.
Why?
Joey B.
Why?
Joey B.
Why are they doing that to Lamar?
It's because Deshaun got it. Now it's going to fuck it up.
Because you still have that fucking minuscule, that little island of people who are still yelling.
If they're
he doesn't throw the ball great.
This is what I was going to get into. This is what's holding Lamar's contract thing up. He himself has been hurt, and
4 games. It's not much.
But when you're a running quarterback, you lose it. Cam lost it. Now he was getting murdered because of how big he was, but Cam lost it. RG3 lost it. You lose it, and that's what I think they're afraid of, especially because at the level of Lamar's play, his passing hasn't dramatically jumped the way that it should. It has gotten better every year, but it's not the. It is like the.
I blame Brown for dropping all them balls. That's who I blame.
I'm not. I'm down to talk about that because I don't like Marquise Brown either. I
was a hater at first. I was the guy being like, "Bro, Lamar need to get better," and then I saw all the drop passes. I was like, Lamar is better. It's this fucking guy.
Hollywood was dropping a lot, but it's when you're like the thing is that's holding him back is Lamar's never had the arm that RG3 had. Lamar doesn't have the arm that Cam had. Kyler has. These running quarterbacks have the arm that made every throw.
Bro, if you're sitting here to me, if I'm Lamar and you're telling if you're the ownership of the Ravens telling me this to my face right now, I'm sitting there pissed.
I'd be pissed.
I'm like, I've only won for you all. I've turned Mark Andrews into like a number 1 target in the league.
I'm not saying
we've been hurt every year. I've lost half my defense. My running backs are hurt every year.
I wouldn't even be like at
give
this
me
point,
a couple of receivers.
Questions for me.
I know,
if
but
I was the owner for the Ravens, I would have already had the deal done. They're not questions for me. I'm just speculating.
But you said that's what's holding Lamar back. It better fucking not be, or he is.
Well, I think
bounce.
that's what's holding the contract situation up because I think that's what they're coming at him with.
So you're not
because they're going to do anything in their power. They're going to do anything in their power.
I assume that's got to be, I guess, a part of their job. But you're going to piss off your franchise quarterback.
Let's get back to that.
That is absurd.
Look at the Cardinals. It doesn't matter if you're pissed off. Look at the Browns. It doesn't matter if your franchise quarterback.
Do you think they fuck with him? They have like a line on the door when they come in. Like, you got to be above that line to be our player. Oh, you made it. Come on, Kylie. Sit down.
Let's get back to these real quick.
Pisses me off.
There's still a few that I wanted to touch on. Laviska Shenault got traded from the Jaguars to the Panthers. I feel like that makes Baker a lot better. Big target, big receiving threat for him. For the cuts, because there was a couple of cuts that kind of were like, what the fuck? Let's see. It was. Sorry, 1 second. Royce Freeman, if anybody gives a shit about that, I don't think so. Let's go back to
fucking
September.
Oregon God.
O.J. Howard signed with the Texans. Didn't touch on that at all.
I love it. I love it. Give Long Neck another fucking target.
I feel like there's a lot more that you have to put around him in order to figure out what he is for, what's his name? The quarterback, Davis Mills.
David.
Yeah, like.
Davis Mills showed me everything I needed to see.
But I think that's really.
He's all right. I love Davis Mills.
He ain't too bad.
That's all the.
He's in a horrible position.
There's more cuts that are specific to the Eagles I want to talk about and some signings, but that'll be later. Because those are the only ones that I really give a shit about. Like a lot of these guys, they're like barely making the team type shit. Like Nate Sudfeld, he got signed to Lions.
So we all ready for these bowl predictions?
Yeah, we're good.
All right,
that's
Cody,
pretty much everything.
I want you to start, and then we're just gonna work our way down and just do it snake.
Okay.
Snake draft.
I've got two for sure. Couldn't think of a third. We kind of hinted on them with the playoffs, like kind of the spiciness. My first one is the 49ers. The more and more I hear about them, see their team, I think they're going to make a really deep playoff run.
Okay.
Like very, very deep. I know the Rams are up there, but the more I see, like, I don't know what's going on with Stafford. I'm sure he's fine. But this 49ers team, I hope it's a big story.
Because they were in the NFC
I did pick them to repeat, but
Yeah.
the more I see this 49ers team,
See, they get an NFC championship again.
and I don't care if it's Trey or Jimmy. I hope if it's Jimmy, if Trey gets pulled after week 6, they're fucking
That's something we didn't talk about. Jimmy
4-2.
G staying with the 49ers.
Yeah.
That's a
highest
big deal.
paid backup in the league. He just wants to fuck bitches and chill, sip on some margaritas on an island.
I like that. I don't think it's too.
I think
too crazy.
I think he'll
I don't think
play.
It's too spicy, but I don't.
When I say deep playoff run, I mean like
I
NFC
think he'll
Championship,
play.
Super Bowl type shit.
I think Jimmy G will play.
Because I think a lot of people are hating on him,
Yeah.
and I don't. The 49ers top to bottom.
If I just gave you numbers and win percentage
yeah.
with any quarterback.
Oh, it's fine
in
for
the
that
league,
white boy to have good. What about Lamar though?
You
don't bring that up when you're talking about money.
Hey, I mean, I told you if I was the Ravens front office, I'd already had it done, and he could have.
How much you want?
guaranteed.
You match Deshaun Watson's contract.
No, I give him.
He takes
I'd
that.
give him $1 million more just to spite Deshaun.
You know what's funny? The richest owner,
$251 million guaranteed. Suck my fucking dick.
right?
Try calling him the third.
The richest owner in the league bought the Broncos, right? And he's like, he got so much fucking money, he wipes his ass with $500 million. Like, you think like Russell went up in there, he's like, oh, let's give him 500. Well, not that much. Oh, okay, well, y'all figure it out.
Yeah,
because he could literally throw as much as he wanted at Lamar and like reset
the
the fucking
Walton
market
family's
again.
pretty fucking
or not
crazy.
Lamar, Russell.
The one thing that fucks me up about the Russell shit is it was blowing my mind that like thinking about it, like you had to think about it deeply. Like the Sierra shit, like I was thinking about it, like you can't send her to fucking. Like some of these teams that they were projected to go to, like I'm not trying to shit on Philly, but I don't see Sierra liking Philly.
They're a pretty big market.
Denver's a dope sell, and I feel like
They're in like the
Dope
top 5
sell.
a
market.
dope fucking sell. Denver is a dope sell, and I think they probably they've had this shit figured out. It's like let's just wait, see what happens in case, because I feel like it's worked out for the Broncos when they went and got quarterbacks. I mean,
That's been their
the
only question
quarterbacks
mark.
they've drafted.
That's been
sucked.
their only question mark.
Osweiler sucked. All those quarterbacks that they drafted sucked.
Flacco.
Flacco. They didn't. They drafted Flacco.
No, they had
They
Flacco
grabbed-
though.
they grabbed it.
Talk about the quarterbacks that have been
But
there.
the quarterbacks that they went and got, it worked out because you go and get Manning, you win a Super Bowl. You're one of the best teams. Like I think this is going to be another situation. I think the only reason it took because I'm surprised about how long it took for Russell to get paid. I figured they would have
Yeah.
like let's just go on and get it locked in. But
All right.
let's wait.
All right,
Well,
So
I got you.
so
All right, my second one.
we're gonna take it.
Oh, one at a time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So
All right,
you have
Jacob.
the 49ers making a deep playoff run.
Deep.
Oh,
And I wanted to push it and say make it to the Super Bowl.
I like
Get
that.
Jimmy, get back there again, just be like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
see,
So-
well, that wasn't the problem.
When
Sorry,
I
I'm
was
healthy.
when I was making my predictions, I kind of needed to look at what we did for
Yeah.
the beginning of the season predictions. So I have 3 NFC East teams making the playoffs.
Okay, that's pretty bold.
3 of them.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that necessarily, but
That's you putting the Commanders
Yeah,
and or
that's the
Cowboys
Commanders.
and or Eagles over likes of like the 49ers, Rams,
Yeah.
depending how you see them.
With how easy their schedules are, though, I feel like it's definitely possible.
The Vikings, Packers, depending who you have winning that, that's bold as fuck. I know our schedules are easy,
I like
but
the Eagles
holy
and
shit.
Cowboys a lot more than I like a lot of the schedules that these really tough teams in the NFC are playing. And the Commanders, if they do get it right at quarterback, I feel like they're pretty good. Their roster's fucking insane.
People say the AFC's top heavy and or they're the most loaded, and the NFC's top heavy. But I mean, the NFC's got some pretty good teams.
Yeah, like the Commanders are
on
board with probably a 10-win season. And the thing is that the only issues I have with their team is probably their linebacking core and then their defensive backs. That's probably it.
Gotcha.
But quarterback, like, if Carson could be manageable, like if he can manage the game like he did with Indy all year last year, they're better, I think.
Yeah.
So
I've seen him choke away a playoff spot too. So if it's coming down to him,
yeah.
So my bold predictions, I start off tame, and I'm going to get a lot crazier as we go on. So my first one, Trevor Lawrence cuts his hair off.
Don't do it.
What the fuck?
I don't think he's going to
Don't
keep the long
do
hair.
it.
He's going to cut it off.
Why?
Just do like Kirk Cousins, just kind of get
I
a
was thinking
new
like
dude.
the Thor move.
Oh,
You know how Thor cut all of his hair off and then went crazy?
Yeah. Hey,
I think that's what's going to happen. They start losing games.
didn't
their hair's
Herbert
getting
do
chopped
that?
off.
Or he was,
Yeah. Herbert cut his hair off.
Is that like a coming of age kind of
I
like?
think so.
Yeah.
I think
We're gonna get to 5 wins this
Don't
year.
do it,
Watch us.
Trevor. Don't fucking do it.
The way
Don't
these
cave to peer
motherfuckers talk
pressure.
about Travis Etienne coming in, they better be fucking good.
It's gotta
Because
get hot down there in Jacksonville. Though. He
Yeah.
probably wants to cut that shit
Like,
off. Yeah,
no, that's his
I've been there
trademark.
during the summer,
That's
bro.
like Anthony Davis with the
I've been to
Browns.
I don't
Jacksonville
see
during
that.
the
Can you
summer.
picture him with short hair? I can't.
It's like
Don't
110
do it.
fucking degrees with the humidity.
I
Do
think
it.
I think
Let my
it's
bold predictions
fucking.
come true.
I don't think.
I like that one. That's a good one.
That's crazy.
I hate. I wish he would go somewhere else, dude. Just get the fuck out of Jacksonville.
They'll
be better, but
yes. All right, what's your first? Bold
I'm
prediction.
fucking starting this shit off wild, bro. Fuck y'all.
Fuck y'all.
Fuck everybody. I'm going contrary to what he said about 3 NFC East teams making the playoffs. It's gonna be fucking
NFC
one. And it's gonna be the Commanders. The Commanders are winning the fucking NFC East.
Oh my
I don't know why.
Fuck our predictions, I guess. Fuck.
I don't know.
The Patriots are winning 12 games, but the Eagles aren't even making the playoffs.
When I was doing research,
He's
on
going to
this,
trade
I was-
Mac Jones next week. Just wait.
When I was doing research on this, that's one bold prediction that a lot of people were saying.
Yeah.
Like the only other one that I was seeing is like Dallas will miss the playoffs, but I think they're going to miss the playoffs, and I don't think that's bold.
Jake Elliott could be our quarterback
I
when we make
think-
the playoffs. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, bro.
How do you
That
trust
is
Carson after what
ridiculous.
you've seen?
What?
Jim Irsay hates that man.
That's
spicy.
Jim Irsay.
He hates him.
Jim
like
Irsay
literally
was a
hates
fucking
him.
alcoholic 7 years ago. I don't want to hear it. Running fucking cars into buildings and shit. I don't want to fucking hear it.
Well, Carson plays like he's an alcoholic now. I don't want to act like.
But if he doesn't,
Yeah, the
if
Commanders are
Carson's
making the
any
playoffs, but the
shred-
Eagles aren't. Or the
Let's-
Cowboys. The Cowboys are just not better than the Commanders anymore.
No, I don't think the Cowboys are going to be better than the Commanders.
You
this
did that
year.
to make me
You're
mad.
high.
No,
I did.
that's what you did.
You're high.
What's your second one?
No,
Stay off
wanna
the
stick to-
weed.
I love that one.
Snake
I
draft.
like it. It's insane. I don't believe it, but it's
It's
spicy.
that defense is going to come back. Carson's going to play. He's going to be like, I got to
He's
get.
trying to get a rise out of
He,
it.
really-
no,
he's really
It's
trying to-
really
he's like,
just
I
trying
got to
to-
get them back, bro. They got rid of me.
I got one. I got one for you then. I got my third one then.
back. My second one, I got him back.
Okay.
I don't care. Y'all can hate all you want. It doesn't matter.
That's fine.
My second bold prediction is I think we're gonna have another Triple Crown winner this year. I think it's gonna be J Jet. I think
Ooh.
it's
I really like that.
I think it's
That would
gonna
be
be
insane to have back to back after only ever having four.
Four.
Having back to back.
I think, honestly, if I had to pick, I wouldn't pick J-Jet. I'd probably go with either Devontae Adams. Probably Devontae Adams.
Not
or-
with the
spread the ball out.
not with the spread that they have. See, the one thing that they've been talking about coming out of the Vikings camp
Thielen,
is
though-
we're throwing this motherfucker this year.
I think you could see
J Jet coming on his third year, he's going to solidify. I think this will be the year that we're making the argument. It's him and Devontae because I think Devontae. Best receiver in the league. I
He'll
think
probably
that's-
still have the
I could
numbers.
see it more because they don't feel like Josh. I mean, you can't really put Josh Jacobs up
another
on, Dalvin's
year
level.
of Thielen being older.
Yeah, but
So-
do you do that to Dalvin though?
Dalvin's still going
They
to
were
get
a
him.
pass
I
first
know,
offense
but
last year.
I know, but still,
They definitely passed the ball like in a long
Triple
They're-
Crown though.
Triple Crown.
Devontae's got a lot of-
That's not bad.
I think I would
A lot of help
With
though.
Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow.
And Hunter Renfro's
That's what's going to hold him
unguardable.
back.
Yeah, it's gonna leave him
I would
open.
have taken Tyreek Hill. And the reason I say that is because Tua
Triple
loves
crown,
one player. Tua loves throwing to one player, and
I love it.
I think that's in like
Triple crown though.
So yeah,
crazy,
it
but
works. I think it works in the sense of touchdowns and catches because everything's gonna be short.
Yes.
But the yards is going to be hard.
Well, the yak is what he's going to be getting.
Yeah, but
he'll have a game with 3 receptions, 150 yards.
But what's the difference of him? What's the difference of him getting 7 catches for 10 yards each compared to like what he was doing at Mahomes, where when he goes to the Bucks, it's 200 in the first. Like he's going to have to.
Yeah, but that 200 was on like 6 receptions.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's not going to be like that with Tua. It's going to be a lot of slant, boom, down, slant, boom, down, slant, breakaway.
Yeah, I don't have the exact stats pulled up. I just wasn't prepared for this. But the misconception with Tyreek Hill is that he's just a deep bomb. He's not. He's
we talk about that. We've seen him take slants 80 yards.
Yes.
Probably the best yak receiver in
and the reason is because the deep bomb is there that they have to play so far back and then just beat you on his feet.
Yep.
So, but that's like saying that they can't beat you. Waddle came on last year. You saw what Waddle did. I mean, it's going to be.
Well, Waddle made a lot of slant catch.
Exactly. Dealing with 2 of them with Edmonds coming out of the backfield, it's going to be.
Waddle's been hurt.
Disgusting.
It hasn't really been talked about. He's barely practicing. He's.
I think they're just being cautious
or something.
They're probably just being cautious,
and like that is another reason I would have put him over J2. But I love the J2 take.
But the head coach Daniels came out of the Niners, right? Like that kind of, he can scheme them guys open. I really like that.
The reason I'm going J2 is because his quarterback's better.
Fair,
fair. It's
probably that middle of the pack,
and I think this will be the last season that we think Tyreek's better than Justin Jefferson. Like, this will be the last season.
Everybody's big on J-Jet, though.
But I think he is. So, like,
arguably the best first 2 years ever.
First season, me and Jacob had the same thing. Want to see him do it again. Did it again. He solidified that he's at least a top 5 receiver in my eyes.
Yeah. And he's changed the league because everyone felt that way. Everyone was like, he did a great rookie season. We need to see that second year. No one feels that way with Jamar Chase now. No. Because of what Jay Jettas did.
Well, Jamar was just as good almost as a rookie.
Yeah. So now people are like, Jamar Chase is that guy.
Well, some LSU boys. The LSU wide receivers are
the fact that they can translate, though, so easily coming into the NFL. They run pro style. It's all college offenses now in the NFL.
He's got Joey B throwing to him, too. He's got a lot of target share, like questions as well, and he still went out and bought out. That's like
that's his favorite target.
Yeah, and it's crazy that he has 3, if you want to count Mixon, 4 guys that he can just throw to.
Well, let's keep it going. Let's go on to Brendan's
My second one is prediction. A lot more spicy. The Jets have a better record than the Patriots.
Yeah.
And Mac Jones has a worse season than last year.
Yeah. That you saying that shows.
That's like get back.
You saying that.
Let's go.
I got you.
You saying that and y'all clapping
shows
you don't realize how good Mac's rookie season was.
No, I get it.
Mac doesn't have Garrett Wilson. First of all.
Dink and dunk.
I don't care.
Dink and dunk.
What does Garrett Wilson matter when Joe Flacco and Zach Wilson are going to be fighting for fucking play time?
I think Joe Flacco is probably better than Mac Jones right now.
No.
Right.
Probably.
I love that take. That's a spicy
it's true.
Take.
Joe fucking sucks.
That's like saying Gardner Minshew is a better quarterback right now than Jalen. It's not.
No, it's not.
Did you see that pick? Did you see that pick Joe threw?
Yeah.
Gardner Minshew is better than Mac Jones, though.
This is why I took the Mac Jones digressing. Is because last year Mac Jones threw to a lot of open receivers.
Yeah.
He didn't have a lot of throws in tight coverage.
See, that's crazy because we were last in separation.
You don't have a play caller.
Last in separation, which means
if you pull up his percentage, like it's
he doesn't have a fucking play caller.
But the other thing is,
64.
Devontae Parker is like bottom tier, one of the worst at creating separation.
Yeah, but he's good, a big play. Like
we're big on Jacoby Myers too. I think they're going to be all right. Like you're going to be better than you.
We were last in We were last in separation. He was a 64% completion quarterback on 3,800 yards as a rookie with one of the worst wide receiver cores in the league.
Something I think is kind of funny. Every team now has been, like, all of our favorite teams have now been shit on, except for mine because they're just horrible. There's not really anything.
Well, all of the bold predictions I looked up when they're talking about the Bears is y'all might not win a fucking game. They might go winless. Like, it's that.
But, all right, what's your second bold prediction, Jacob?
So, I don't know if this has ever happened. The NFL have 5,000-yard passers this year.
Name them. Can you name them, or do you just
Mahomes,
Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes,
Brady,
Josh Allen. I'm gonna go Kirk Cousins. I think Kirk Cousins could do it. Kirk Cousins
and Trey Lance.
Burrow.
Burrow, yeah, that's my 5.
See
right
where
there.
I would
my
switch is I would take out Kirk and I would put Carr because I
Carr is
so
fit.
yeah. Kirk could definitely do 5K though because he's got such an. He got
There's
Jalen
only
Rager, bro.
There's only
Jalen's
one.
gonna have 1,200 himself.
In the AFC, there's
not
only
happening.
one projected for this year to do 5,000.
Justin.
And I didn't know it's Joey B.
Oh.
For to have 5K.
His
is
weapons are so good.
Joe Burrow.
He's gonna have 5,000.
And then it's Josh Allen.
Brady
Patrick
did it
Mahomes,
last
Derek
year.
Carr.
He was the only one.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't the only one.
Justin
Justin
was
Herbert
5,000
did.
yards. Yeah. Let me check that, but Justin.
I was gonna say because I thought it was only Brady. Brady threw for 5,300 fucking yards.
He was 5,014.
So it was Herbert and
Counts.
him.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude!
That's sick.
Where the fuck did those yards come from?
Mike Williams and Keenan Allen.
Literally, that's
And
it.
Austin.
What about Eckler? How many did Eckler have? I have him in fantasy.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, Cody, what's your second?
It's your turn.
And then you get to also do your third right
Speaking
after.
of fantasy. So I'm going to go Christian McCaffrey leads the league in total yards.
I don't think that's...
Comeback player of the
That's
year.
not happening
Come back.
because
See,
he's gonna
haters
play-
like you.
I'm not.
He's going to be healthy.
he's
Him
gonna
and
stay
Baker
healthy.
going to be out there
6
fucking
games. I
balling.
have the comeback player of the year on my team because it's gonna be Derrick Henry. He's gonna rush for 2,500 fucking yards.
It's not going to be more than him.
I'm very
Christian-
excited on the leagues that I have them. I'm like, I'm going to be easily the best team in the league for 3 weeks.
That's all I need.
It's like the
I've
Cardinals.
scored
It's like the
200
Cardinals
points.
before week 8. They're one of the most scary
Yes.
teams.
I've
Yeah.
scored 200 points in 4 weeks. He's 50 every
But I
fucking
think he's
week.
going to come out and just be
Yeah.
every
Oh, he had
play for the
17
Panthers.
receptions.
He's going to be fucking involved.
Yeah,
somehow.
that's
And
crazy.
then he's gonna fucking get turf toe.
And then my last one. We'll go ahead and move into my last one. It's a little spicy.
Let's get
Oh my
spicy
god,
again.
this is
Let's get
crazy.
spicy again.
What?
Alan Lazard is going to lead the league in receptions.
No, he's fucking not.
He's
spicy.
going to have like 125
Oh,
fucking
God.
receptions. And he's going to be I'm not going to go that deep.
Is
I almost
he
said
even
Pro
their best
Bowler.
receiver?
Yeah.
Yes.
Romeo
He's easily the
Dobbs-
best receiver.
Romeo Dobbs.
Fuck you, Dobbs, and fuck you, what's
Christian
the other-
Watkins.
Watkins.
Well, Christian Watkins has been dropping balls in practice. I talked to somebody, one of our friends. He fucking Edmonds. He fucking
I thought it was Christian Watson.
I don't know.
It's Watson or Watkins?
Whoever he
It's
is,
one of them.
I
Edmonds
was thinking
doesn't
Quez
like
Watkins.
him.
It's Watson.
And Romeo
He's right.
Dobbs is going to be their fucking best receiver. They still got Robert Tunyon too. I don't see lead
Lead the league.
lead the
in
league in
receptions.
receptions.
Devontae Adams is going to be 2.
I actually
Maybe targets. I don't know about
Receptions.
I
That's
think
fucking
yards
ridiculous.
is where I
He's
would
going to have
be.
114 receptions.
Receptions is crazy.
114
You gotta
receptions lead the league.
No, it's going to be. I said 125 a minute ago. Like, it's
Because
gonna be
what
up
was
there.
fucking
Because you got to think like Tyreek Hill's.
That's kind of average. Jarvis Landry, yeah, he has like
30 a game.
100 plus every year.
Yeah.
Well, Tyreek, he had like 70 total last
Yeah,
year.
but he has a quarterback who.
Cooper
lost
Kupp was
one play.
100.
And there's another
45.
game too.
Jalen Waddle
so
had
he
like
an extra game to
110,
get.
110,
Yeah.
something like that.
Cooper Kupp was 145. So like
That's a lot of fucking receptions.
That's a lot.
So he's going against your triple crown bullshit.
I mean, if you have 10 a game, that's 170.
That's
Or
a
you
lot
know,
of fucking-
100, yeah, that's a lot.
That's spicy.
not.
That is definitely
That's
fucking spicy.
ridiculous.
I believe in you, Lazard.
Jacob, what you got? What's
somebody's
your
got
last one?
to.
Going off the predictions we did earlier
Aaron
in the
will-
year, everybody thinks it's bold. It's not that bold. It's going to fucking happen.
Yeah.
Eagles win the Super Bowl, baby. Let's go. It's happening.
You hear those crickets?
It's happening.
I don't think.
those crickets?
I'm not betting on it.
If I had to make it even spicier, I will. If I wanted to tone it back a little bit, I'd say either the Eagles
tone
or
back. No.
either the Eagles or the Dolphins both make the Super Bowl. Like
That's
one
spicy.
of them.
That's very
One of
spicy.
those
I
teams
like that
make a
one.
Super Bowl.
I like that.
One of them.
I like that.
I'd be willing to bet against that.
All right.
I just think
I think.
Eagles or Dolphins. One of those teams are making a Super Bowl.
bet on it.
I'll take the field.
Yeah, I'll take.
I'll take everybody else.
All right.
All right.
My third one and my most spicy. Parsons is in the running for MVP.
That's
He's
crazy.
The defensive. He's in the running. I don't think he wins it because they don't like to give it to anyone.
Yeah,
other
defensive player of the
But
year
he
was
is-
almost on my list, but
No, he's in the
MVP.
running for MVP.
MVP.
Does that put us above the Commanders if he's playing like that?
Oh yeah.
Does that put the
I'd
Eagles
hope
out of the
so.
Super Bowl? I would assume so.
Shut the fuck up.
Y'all are not making the Super Bowl. I wish you'd get that out of your head.
I bet we make the playoffs and y'all don't. How about that?
You fucking ooh!
I bet the Jets make it over y'all.
Ooh!
I mean, I already took that one, but yeah, I think
fucking
Parsons
stepping out on a limb.
I've never seen a defensive player just like be that crazy so quick.
I wish he was on the. If he was strictly on the defensive end, and every game, every play was in there, just I gotta get the quarterback. I'd feel a lot better about that.
But
He played
this is his year.
He played like 4 positions last year.
I saw someone
Like
take
4 different.
I don't see him winning MVP when they're going to win 9
I
games.
don't think he's winning MVP.
Like,
I think he's in the you know how they do like the 3 or 4 people.
The voting.
running?
He gets a vote.
He's the runnings.
Just say
Yes.
he gets an MVP vote.
Yeah,
If he gets a vote, period, that's going to be
yeah, I think he
amazing.
should.
Yeah, that's wild.
I think
That's a
that's
good one.
my that's my last.
If
one.
they,
think
if they
if
definitely
anyone-
separated the quarterback, because a quarterback's probably going to win it,
Yes,
unless a running back or receiver goes completely off.
Yeah.
I think they'll eventually do that. They'll make a quarterback kind of MVP or some kind of extra award, and then they'll do.
I think if anyone's set to
else.
regress on that defense crazily, it would be
Trayvon.
him.
It has to
Well,
be,
no,
right?
just because Trayvon, we know that's going to happen. He's not getting 11 picks again.
You're
Yeah.
saying if anybody does.
I'm saying, like, if there's
yeah.
going to be a noticeable regression, it's going to be him just because I think the league is thinking exactly how most of us at this table, at these tables think, is he's of that echelon of player.
Yeah,
We
no one
gotta-
has
we
said
gotta scheme
they're
for
going to
him.
think he's going to get worse. They're like,
On top of the fact
he's
that
already this
DeMarcus
good.
Lawrence isn't, or not DeMarcus Lawrence, Randy Gregory's gone, which means he's going to come down to being
where I
more
like
of the
more.
rushing. But I think that's going to bring a lot more attention to him. Your defense is weak at the linebacker spot. Like it's just, it's just so hard for me to give any stock into Micah Parsons winning anything because I just don't think that team's going to be great.
Because I think you brought up a good point for the Colts. He led the league in tackles.
Darius Leonard, yeah,
didn't even
100
get
fucking-
looked at for anything. I mean,
But think about if the Cowboys are like in the playoff contentions, which I think is where everyone is at least considering them. Not like just completely missing the playoffs.
I think
Most-
they completely missed the playoffs.
So one out of every 45 people.
Well, I think the
that's just not normal.
NFC is going to be really good.
Yeah, but like most people are saying that like they're right at the playoff contentions. If not, like a lot of people think they're a lock. But if they're in that place and you're looking at Parsons as the best player, I mean, how do you not?
so they go 10, 11
he has to be a
wins.
far above and beyond.
Yeah,
what-
he's got to lead the league in tackles and have like 18 sacks.
Yes.
They've got to
And I think
be
that's possible.
maybe even some
Yeah. I don't
think that's
turnovers.
actually crazy
He's
to
got
think
to.
about.
He's got to have like
some
a couple
forced fumbles
picks,
or
forced
return for a
fumbles.
touchdown. Like if he has like that
Yes.
MVP moment, like
Yes.
to win a game,
I think
like to win a division.
He has
game,
to
like that'd be
project
insane.
himself like within games to where
He takes
that
all 11
motherfucker's the reason they
interceptions from
won.
Diggs. He
They
gets
won
them all.
games
He
because
talks.
Yeah.
He's been talking like
They-
he's ready for that. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you have
bad,
to.
he's playing
When you play
cornerback.
that good,
you don't have to. I haven't seen. Dude, how many rookies you see come out and just talk that shit?
that's what I don't like about
Like
it.
He said it was
that.
easy. He
Yeah,
said that shit
the
was
NFL
easy.
speed's not. It's normal. Like it
well.
wasn't a big adjustment for me.
It sucks that y'all got him, and we have to worry about him for like the next decade.
So this is why
He's that
I
fucking
don't agree with any of this because
Fair.
I don't think he will. I don't think he will have a season better than this season. Darius Leonard's rookie fucking season was 163 tackles, 7 sacks, 2 interceptions, and he didn't have any touchdowns. But that,
I mean-
if you're a linebacker and you're not,
That's
We're
incredible.
having- look,
That's an incredible
This is-
season.
This is supposed to be a spicy.
it's spicy.
bold
No, I
take.
don't. I
For
don't
you to-
necessarily think that's spicy though. I think
That is up for MVP.
He's in an MVP vote.
Well, yeah, fuck.
MVP.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
because my
You were just saying
That means he's
there's
getting
no
votes
way.
above
My next spicy
him and
take-
Aaron Donald both aren't getting a vote. That
my
means
next,
he's getting votes
my
above
next
these top
spicy
guys.
take is a Cowboys take. It's
All right,
just
what-
on the other side of
it's
the
your
ball.
turn. What is
I
it?
think if the Cowboys make the playoffs, it's because CD led the league in like.
What if he's
I
a
think it's
triple
Zeke.
crown?
I think
Okay,
Zeke's the
Chelsea.
big
Yeah,
He
I
could
focal
be a
point
triple
of that.
crown if he
I
takes
don't
that much
see,
of a lead.
That's the thing is I don't agree. I don't think that he is going to take that much of a lead. But for the Cowboys to be what they've been the past few years, he has to take that lead. That's the thing.
You're also on that side where a lot of people don't think he is because
I don't. It's
I
not
think
that.
he's
It's just.
fucking great.
He is slated.
You don't have to worry
already
about
a
Dak.
top 10 receiver.
He's
I
at
do
worst
not
their
agree
fourth
with that.
best. He's at worst their fourth best offensive player.
Yeah, I agree with
worst.
that. But I'm saying if we're looking at it league consensus wide,
That's crazy.
What
fourth best offensive player.
Dak
on the
Dak and
Cowboys?
then him
For sure. What do you mean?
Dak and important wise for our
I'm
offense.
talking about like in terms of how
Yeah,
they're
because
perceiving.
Amari's not there anymore.
He better be
I'm
one
talking
or
about
two.
Zach Martin. He's on the offense. I'm also talking about Zeke.
He's not going to. He's not going to
That's
contribute
big,
to like
though.
score
Their
of the game.
offensive line looks different.
That's what I'm
without
saying.
Zach
At
Martin.
worst, he's like their fourth best player on their offense of 11 players.
If you
to
want
start.
to, because I don't think that's far fetched to say that offensive line, like David Bakhtiari is one of the best offensive players on his team.
Yeah,
Like
That's
I
what
don't
I'm
think
saying.
that's
like
far
Lane
fetched
Johnson's
to
one of the
say.
best players on our offense.
I still
I
would.
actually think your third take was like the least spicy.
I don't.
think
Well,
it's
I don't.
crazy.
Because this is.
You just don't believe it is why it's spicy. But
Well,
I
this
don't
is
think
my
it's
thing.
crazy.
Is everyone's like, oh, CD's a top 10 receiver. No, he's not.
Fantasy. Most people are saying that in fantasy terms.
But no, people think that he is a top 10. If you look at general,
Not necessarily.
if you look at predictions in yards, he is in most ones you're looking at.
He's
going
hovering
to be in
around
top 10.
1,300 yards.
Like that. Look up
that's what
yard
people are
predictions for
projecting.
wide
Yeah,
receivers.
they're
He's going to be
projecting
in
around.
everyone as a top 10 receiver. I'm not talking about fantasy. I'm talking about in terms of the stat.
There's a lot that goes into that too, though. Like the seasons Dax had, like a couple seasons, like when he started off 900 yards.
I don't think that CD has shown that he is better than what Amari was when Amari went there. Like I think
CD has shown real flashes of
he's shown
stardom.
flashes, but I think we're
The walk off with you all.
Yeah,
I mean he's.
Look at what Amari was doing at the fucking Raiders.
I'm gonna be
and
real.
then look at what Amari was doing when he came.
Amari disappears though. I mean,
He
CD would be the
disappears,
number
and
one
that's why we
team
hate on
receiver
him.
on most teams.
For
I mean,
me-
it's hard to argue that.
Yeah, for me, the CD moment was whenever he spun around for that one catch.
Yeah.
That was the moment that I was like, he's up there. Like, he's
So-
that talented.
He's got the talent to do it.
FantasyPros.com, they have him projected at 1,236 receiving yards, 91 receptions, and around 8 receiving touchdowns.
It's good.
Yeah.
I think he's honestly on pace to. I really do think he's going to.
Dak distributes the ball well. He's got options too. I mean,
Gallup stays healthy, I think that's
Yeah.
CD's
But Gallup's
real
missing
shit.
half the season off rip.
no, he's not.
Is he not?
No, he might come back first week or two, maybe before that.
Yeah.
They doing something with
What
these
about James
recoveries
Washington?
and
Is he
shit.
going to be good?
I hope so. He
I
was.
feel like
The Steelers have had
some
such a
and they
good.
go forever.
Well, didn't he tear
Vice
his
versa.
ACL?
Yeah,
Gallup tore his ACL.
It was early on, it was like halfway through the season last year.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
I just think we're sleeping on
The Steelers have had such
how-
good depth of receivers, though, that it's like, what if James was just kind of sitting back, not really getting the
They
showcase?
are the best team in the NFL at drafting receivers.
Who
I
had the
think.
spiciest take?
MVP,
yours, I think.
spicy for sure.
Who had the least spicy take? I think it's the CD.
Probably Cody because he had the 49ers making a deep playoff run.
That's fair. Yeah, we kind of all.
I haven't seen the 49ers. I mean, depending on how you feel on the NFC.
I think the Eagles winning the Super Bowl is not that spicy.
That's spicy.
because most people have the Rams winning that division,
Yeah.
but a lot of people looking at it objectively.
3 NFC
have
teams making the playoffs.
That's pretty
though,
spicy.
That's pretty spicy.
Yeah.
And
That's absurd. That's not going to happen. That's not happening.
5K passers.
All right, it's time to move
pretty
on
good.
to our third segment. Now we're moving on to our third segment, which is the college football segment, where we're going to talk about how the playoffs just got expanded to 12. How's everybody feeling about this?
It sucks that it doesn't happen until 2026
It's about
That-
fucking time.
That is the worst part.
because I would be okay
So-
with it doing it this year.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I said it should have been 16, and it didn't seem like anyone else agreed.
I think 12 is perfect.
I think 16, you're kind of letting them scrubs kind
I was
of
going to say, you got some
sneak
imposter.
their way
You got-
in. Yeah,
This is the
that's
problem.
like a cakewalk for Bama. Like,
I mean,
well,
yeah,
this-
I mean, pull it up,
is
sit like.
still going to be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is
Maybe.
now. This is where I'm. This doesn't change my outlook on fucking college football at all. It's just more playoff games.
Yes.
Like Alabama's still going to win the championship every year. Clemson's still going to win the championship every year.
What?
Ohio State is still going to win the championship every year. It's just more chances for them to fuck up if they were going.
it
to.
makes it
My-
March Madness essentially for me.
My favorite part of this was it felt like if you lost one game throughout the year as a college football team, you missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
You had to go undefeated. Now some of these teams that may like lose their second, third game, but then like you see them like in the second half of the season really pick up and really get just way, way, way better. You can see those
Is that
teams
what you
start
had-
to like
had
be the
pulled up?
sleeper hit of this.
So like I'm looking at the AP top poll for this year, and it's Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia. I'm gonna just read the top 12.
Yeah.
Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia, Clemson, Notre Dame, Texas A&M, Utah, Michigan, Oklahoma, Baylor, Oregon, and Oklahoma State.
Kind of crazy. Oregon might fall out of that.
Well, yeah,
Utah's
they
going to fall
definitely
out of
should because they lost.
Notre Dame will probably still be in the top 12, but they're going to be close.
Them losing is exactly that's the point that I was getting at. Is they are 11 and they got blown out by Georgia. Like the top teams, you're not college just because you add more teams to the playoffs. It's not changing the parity of college.
Does the win?
Week 1.
Does the win that Georgia have bring them up to 2? You think?
I think Georgia should have been 2 to begin with.
Probably. They
lost a lot, but that's exactly why I want to talk about this because this dude right here.
Well, this is also prior to what happened yesterday, and today what team is it that plays? LSU and Texas A&M played, or no, it was Louisiana State. So,
yeah. But
what the fuck am I talking about?
Yeah, I think that it's just going to make playoffs more fun. Mm-hmm. I think that's all it does.
It's more games. It's more revenue.
Yeah.
And also, it's really good for these teams who maybe haven't been on that big stage in these big bowl games. Like, if you look at it right here for 2021 to 2022, you have Utah at 12, Ole Miss at 11, who's like an SEC team. I mean, 10-3. But now they're potentially, depending on how they want to do, I mean, I assume there won't be any bye weeks in it, so it's a straight up fucking 1-12. Like, is that how it's going to be?
There going to be a bye week.
I don't remember
if they're
saying
12,
anything.
I don't see how there would be.
Yeah, I don't know how it would be specifically.
Unless the top 2 don't play anybody.
But if you would look at it like that, like 1-12, like Utah's they're probably going to get blown out against Georgia. But now they're on that big stage. It's going to be all around good for everyone. More football for us. And at worst, the topic the following weekday is they shouldn't have been there. They got blown out by obviously a better team, but.
So it says it'll consist of the 6 highest ranked conference champions, and then the 6 at-large teams. So I'm just assuming the top 6 ranked.
So it's not just record.
It's not, but we're still gonna, I guess, go off of like.
That's such a way better system.
Yeah, it is a better system.
It makes conference championships matter.
Pac-12, the Big Ten, yes.
How many times do you see like some of the best players in the entire fucking nation? They sit out because their conference championships are bowl game. And they just don't play because they're going into the draft. It makes it matter. You may see more injuries, but like still.
But you've got these teams like
there's 10 divisions already. I mean that could be 10. So you're telling me it's going to be 10 division winners and
6 division winners.
So
it's the top 6.
So
division winners.
From last year, it would have been Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Michigan, Baylor, Alabama, and Utah.
Pitt was 11-3. So
Pitt was 17. Cincinnati was 4, Pitt was 17, Michigan was 2, Baylor was 9, Utah was 14, and Alabama was 20. Louisiana was ranked, Alabama was, they weren't 4. They were fucking.
Yeah, they beat Georgia in the SEC championship, is what it was. And then Georgia beat them in the title last year.
What am I looking at?
Yes. The top 4 seeds will receive a first-round bye.
Oh, really?
Yes, this is reserved for the highest-ranked conference champions. In this model, Notre Dame or any other independent will never have the chance of a first-round bye.
So
that's fucking terrible.
That means it would have been. So that means for last year, it would have been Cincinnati gets a bye, Michigan gets a bye.
It's incentivizing conference play, though.
Baylor gets a bye, and Alabama.
Notre Dame is probably going to end up in the Big Ten or some shitty fucking.
Yeah, they're probably pushing them to join something.
There's more to this as well. Seeds 1 through 4 will begin the playoffs. In the quarterfinals, they will be given the choice of where they want to play their New Year's Day.
See, this is where
6 bowl games.
They're losing me.
Number 1 seed will pick first, followed by the 2 and 3, and then the 4. So they get to pick where they play.
That's money, man.
That's
crazy. Money wise. Like they could either take if they like their stadium or they is that any stadium, any city?
Don't know. It looks like it's just going to be the Rose, Sugar, Orange, Fiesta, Peach, and the.
Okay, I didn't know if they were. If they were able to take like the Rams stadium. Can they go to SoFi? Can they go to Jerry World? Are they allowed to do that?
So it's those.
Think about the crazy type of games that are going to end up in the Rose Bowl. Like, think about that. It just adds to the legend of the Rose Bowl.
Yeah. Seeds 5 through 12 will be filled by the remaining 8 highest-ranked teams using the CFP rankings and allow for 2 conference champions. The 5 seed will play the 12th, the 6th will play the 11th, so 7th will play the 10th, 8th will play the 9th.
Ooh, okay.
So you would have Michigan, Oklahoma playing. You would have.
Okay, so I just found a really good website. This is what the 12-man format would have been for the past 8 seasons.
Perfect. That's exactly
So for the 2021 season, yeah, I had it right. The four byes would have been Alabama, Michigan, Cincinnati, and Baylor. Rest of the field would have been Georgia at 5, Notre Dame at 6, Ohio State 7, Ole Miss 8, Oklahoma State 9, Michigan State 10, Utah 11, Pittsburgh 12.
So Pitt would play Georgia.
They would play the winner of Georgia or Baylor. So Pitt would play the winner of Georgia or Baylor. Utah would play the winner of Notre Dame or Cincinnati.
Pitt plays Georgia, and the winner plays Baylor.
Because they would have that bye week.
So Pitt,
that's wild.
Utah would play Notre Dame, and they would have played Cincinnati. Michigan State would have played Ohio State, and they would have played out Michigan. And Oklahoma State would have played Ole Miss, and Ole Miss would have the winner of that would have played Alabama.
So do you think it changes anything?
No, I mean
we still think.
I mean, you're fighting for a bye week in the championship too. That's kind of cool.
That's dope, but like you're giving it to the team that's going to win the championship either way. Like, so for the 2020 season, the byes would have been Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and Oklahoma, and the rest of the field would have been Notre Dame, Texas A&M, Florida, Cincinnati, Georgia, Iowa State, Indiana, and Coastal Carolina. That's where I love it. You've got teams like Coastal Carolina that are going to sneak in. Yeah. Well, Indiana's been getting better.
Yeah, but still, that's crazy. And then who do they play?
Coastal Carolina would have played Notre Dame, and the winner of that would have played Oklahoma.
Is there any chance they win that game? I'm thinking no one probably saying yes on that.
Notre Dame always loses a weird game, I feel like.
Did they lose that one though? Like that's big.
No. To Coastal Carolina?
Yeah,
probably not.
Yeah, and then
Indiana would have played Texas A&M, and the winner of that would have played Ohio State.
So that's a close one, I think.
That's a lot closer. But Ohio State's.
Iowa State would have played Florida.
See, it's these kind of matchups though. Michigan would play the winner out of Michigan State or Ohio State.
That's a good.
Either way, you're getting a rivalry game. So it's like
I love that.
Well, you're talking about
that gives that game more incentive. It's like we get to fight our rivals too. After I get through you, motherfuckers. So that's really cool. I'm just saying, like this matchup here for 2021, that would have been so sick.
So Clemson would play the winner of Iowa at Florida.
Iowa State at Florida.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Alabama would play either Georgia or Cincinnati in that scenario.
See, that's good.
Like they played Cincy last year,
and they blew them the fuck out.
But like Georgia being in that competition, like this is a cool.
That's where it gets dicey. If it's Georgia and Cincinnati, and now the winner of that has to play Alabama, that's where it gets dicey.
Let's talk about
if you can get one of these, a team that should be top 4 in the 5 to 6. Like if Notre Dame could,
that's what
Notre Dame is always a high ranking team. But they never can get over that hump.
Yeah, always.
Like if you could get over that hump, this would be a way for you to sneak in.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be more upsets than people are giving credit.
Yeah, like I was about to bring that up. It's sports, so on any given Saturday,
we saw a bunch of them last night.
What if they come out dead and they come out flat and they're like, "Oh, we're supposed to be better than this team."
Yeah,
you just don't execute. That could happen. And
think of like Notre Dame playing their conference championship. It's kind of a cakewalk for them. Like they're steamrolling it. Yeah. So they're pretty much getting that bye.
Don't they even get a conference championship?
They're independent.
No, they need because they're independent. They don't play a conference. So they need to get into the Big Ten because they play the Big Ten all year. They
at best they can have. You said the top 6 from the conference make it.
At best they could have 5 because they'll never get a bye.
Yeah.
So they can't be 1 through 4.
So then you're thinking they're playing the bottom seed, which should be pretty easy for them, and then they're going kind of fresh into against the number 4. So there's a good chance that like Notre Dame could really be a team that plays in a lot.
There's just no way.
The Big Ten. Just because they play the Big Ten, they're in Indiana, so like
I think it just adds extra football for everybody else, but it doesn't change the overall outcome.
Yeah, because like for this team, like in 2019, Memphis was 12.
You're getting more games out of it.
You're not giving that team hope that they're going to run a gauntlet from a wild card spot and
it's kind of wild that Alabama wasn't in the top 12.
That's like I'm getting. Didn't they lose like 3 games? They lost to like.
Well, that was Joe Burrow's year.
Yeah, they lost a few.
But like, think about like
weird games.
I don't know. There's some teams. I feel like we're
like A&M or something. I think.
But every other year, Alabama is either one of the buys or 5. Like it's.
But like those kind of teams, they have no hope. They're not winning.
But you just need
3 games.
One playoff win is so big.
But like
that team.
and they get that bright lights on the big stage. But that could also be a 70-0 game.
Oh yeah, it could get blown out.
And then you have those talks. Why the fuck were they in there? Like
last year,
couldn't find another SEC team thrown there.
I think Michigan's only loss last year going into the playoff was Michigan State. They were in and they were playing. They'd be playing Ohio State in their first round, and then whoever wins that game goes on to play Michigan.
They blew them the fuck out.
They did. Yeah, it's nasty. There's a lot of.
I was trying to pull up Michigan's.
But that gives a pretty good shot at like USC teams like that to win their conference and make it into the playoff and like actually see if actually show something. I'm excited.
Yeah. The other thing we've been excited about is seeing, and we got to see a lot of these.
Oh yes,
players.
the
Real quick, I'm just going to break down the top 5 projected quarterbacks of what's supposed to be the top 5 quarterbacks this year.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, Caleb Williams. In 2021, he had 1,912 passing yards, 64.5% completions, 21 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions.
Did he take over for Spencer?
Yeah, Spencer Rattler.
So he didn't even get a full year under his belt.
Then,
I'm really big on Caleb Williams. I like him a lot.
Last night, he put up 249 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. It's a hell of a game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a good start. So ranked 4th was Devin Leary from North Carolina State.
Mm-hmm.
He had 3,433 passing yards, 65.7% completion, 35 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. That's a crazy fucking year. Last night,
I haven't heard much on him.
Yeah, he plays for.
This thing that I'm
NC
reading
State.
is literally saying Devin Leary is in a dogfight with Hooker to be the best quarterback. Who casual fans don't yet know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, last night he put up 211 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So a lot worse.
Who'd they play?
That I don't know.
It's a competition.
Yeah,
a lot of these guys open up with stinkers.
I'm looking at all these. I'm looking at a 2023 mock draft.
Who's first quarterback?
3.
First quarterback off the board is CJ Stroud.
Yeah, it's a coin
You can't
flip.
go wrong.
Yeah,
Or Young.
like
Bryce Young to Seattle.
Yeah,
that makes perfect sense. So yeah,
like you already mentioned, Hooker is the 3rd ranked. Last year he had 2,945 passing yards, 68%, and 31 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Last night he went 221 yards, 2 touchdowns. So he played a good game.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to see any of these guys just be really bad. Number 2, Bryce Young, last year, 4,872 passing yards, 66.9%, 47 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. And 3 rushing touchdowns.
Did you see him last night? He celebrated and then immediately got next to save him. Was like all business. It was awesome.
This guy put up 195 yards. Not the craziest. 5 touchdowns.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this was their preseason.
Was that by halftime? Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
They played Utah State.
CJ Stroud is ranked number 1, 4,435 passing yards, 71.9%, 44 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Last night he put up 223 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Did you touch on Will Levis?
I did not. He's not ranked top 5.
On what? What was that? What was that one?
This was SI.com. SI.
Oh, Sports Illustrated. Okay.
They had a very shaky start.
Well, on their mock draft, they have Will Levis going to Detroit, so I guess we could touch on his stats too.
Yeah, how do you do?
As Kentucky boys.
I'm looking it up.
They started off. They were actually in the hole. They were down 7-0, and then they started to.
He had around 230 yards passing on 30. I'm about to go look at it.
Yeah, because that first touchdown drive was like a 2-minute drive.
Hold on, because I don't think that's
very, very shaky.
It's actually
it was
not
303 passing yards on 32 attempts, 65% completion. He had 3 touchdowns and a pick. He was sacked 4 times.
3-1 and then 300 yards. Mm-hmm. That's pretty good.
Yep. His longest pass attempt pass completion was 45 yards.
So yeah, they scored in a hurry that first touchdown drive.
Tavion Robinson went 6 for 136 as a receiver.
That's without the 2 starters. Also, they're suspended. Rodriguez and somebody else for some dumb shit.
So Stroud or Young, who do you think is going to have the better year this year?
Stroud.
Young's
just because I think he has the better
start.
offense.
Individually, probably Stroud.
Stroud has the better,
and he's got the number 1 receiver in the country. So,
yeah, Stroud. Look at
Jackson Smith, Jigba, I think is his name.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I'd probably say Stroud too, but
I'm going to go Young. So I'll be the one out here. I'm going to say Young's going to have the better year. I mean, he started off with 5 touchdowns. It's kind of hard, too.
yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
You can't really go wrong with the draft-wise. Yeah. Like, you're going to be okay.
And I think – do you think whoever wins the Heisman out of them two? I'm guessing that one of them two are probably going to be the front runners to win it. Do you think whoever wins the Heisman out of them two is getting drafted first?
Yeah.
You think that's the deciding factor?
I wouldn't.
I think the Alabama quarterback stigma is going to hold Bryce Young back.
Yeah, I would say if you had to pick like preseason, like last year, everyone was kind of young, but Stroud's come along. And I think he's more prototypically built, as what a team would want.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see Ohio State and Alabama playing later in January.
I mean, yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me either.
Whoever wins that game probably gets drafted.
Honestly, it's got to be them two or Georgia.
Yeah.
Winning. I mean, I think that's not a hot take at all. Everyone thinks that, but yeah.
I'd give in that game, I'd probably give Alabama the edge. Just because I think that Bryce is better.
Yeah, well, not even that.
I think Bryce is better than CJ.
I do too. It's 1A, 1B, but
I think CJ probably end up being the better quarterback over their careers. I like the system that Ohio State has with their quarterbacks. I mean, and I'm one of those. I also think that like sometimes the track team around can hurt the development later in the NFL. But that's
I've seen
college, more. Ohio State
has the best receiver in the NFL.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's pretty. They also got Marvin Harrison Jr. But the reason that I would give Alabama the edge isn't because of Bryce Young. It's because they have the best player in college football in Will Anderson.
Yep.
There's not a better college football player. He should have been whatever the defensive player of the year for college was last year. I mean, it's this kid is.
Has everyone given up on
this kid? If the Jacksonville,
the more I see him to the eye test, he's. I mean, you had everything around you at Oklahoma.
He's playing at Missouri,
South Carolina.
South Carolina.
Last night
with the Gamecocks.
I hate that kid. He's a fucking.
He seems to have a maturity issue too. Just watching him on the sidelines and watching him, he doesn't have command of the offense. It's just weird to explain.
He had a tough game last night.
If I could show this fucking video, I would. It was a video, and it was back when he was in high school. But he's just like, he is like the douchebag prototypical quarterback in a movie.
Oh yeah, like at the quarterback camp.
I'm the best person on the player.
That.
Like he's literally like, you're not going to fucking college. I signed with Oklahoma. Like, nobody, that ever since I saw that video, I was like, I hope he falls on his
watching him
face.
Live, like, lose his job to Caleb, and, like, you could feel it, and you're kind of.
You saw it.
You're not even a fan of the team. You're like, put Caleb in. Like, I've seen enough. It's.
Yeah.
Well, Caleb's a better quarterback.
Yeah, last night he threw 227 yards. Looks good. 1 touchdown, looks good. 2 interceptions. That's not
He's
good.
not good.
Yeah, so he obviously. That's always been his thing, though. He's had bad.
Georgia State.
Bad decision making. Yeah.
If I could have maybe made the case if they were playing a really solid team, they weren't.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but back to Bryce, we've seen more of Bryce too on. It's like the CJ and him. We've seen a lot of Bryce Young at this point.
Bryce Young kind of
CJ.
Bryce Young kind of took that team by storm last year. Like he kind of just like it was kind of like the same thing with Caleb Williams, where they were like. Whoa, like what the fuck? Like we knew we had this, but like
not until you throw him out there, you get to see it. Yeah,
like, Bryce was crazy last year. I just think the receiving core it's not as good as Ohio State's.
Yeah,
and I think
that says a lot of Caleb Williams if he's up there though in that Heisman talk near the end of the year, and they're
I like Caleb.
You assume they're going to make the playoffs too. So
you want to touch on Jalen Carter a little bit since you wanted to talk about him.
I mean, yeah, he's just the second best player in college football. Like it's
ridiculous. He's so crazy.
I wouldn't like
to think that three players from that defensive line were drafted last season, like in this previous draft, and this dude's.
I mean, he only had it literally.
He's been a top 5 pick.
like it's crazy because I'm
no shit. They won the title last year. It's just wild.
I'm sitting here looking at it, and he only had 1 tackle. But it was the highlight of college football, the college football weekend. The way he fucking shrugged that offensive lineman off and made that it just shows that they just know what the fuck they're doing when it comes to defensive linemen. Like they're just going to rotate them in and out. I think Jalen Carter's probably going to be a top 4 pick in the draft. I think Will Anderson's probably going to be number 1. I don't think it's going to be a quarterback. I think Jacksonville's probably going to.
That's what
them or Houston. If it's Houston, they'll probably take.
Sports Illustrated has Atlanta drafting Will Anderson.
Yeah,
that'd be so good.
They need fucking edge rushers too.
Yeah, that'd be so good for them.
They need an edge rusher.
Will Anderson will be that player. Jalen Carter will be that player. I'm not. We know what we have with the quarterbacks, but I'm not like, if it comes down to it, are either of these quarterbacks? I don't think either of these quarterbacks are better than Trevor. Like for the Jaguars, if
they're not taking a quarterback.
No, I don't think if you already have an established quarterback, you shouldn't draft them. But like this,
build around.
Well, that's what I'm saying because I
don't
don't necessarily consider Trevor established yet, just because I think he's going to get the short end of that stick.
Still, the situation going into, he was like the highest graded quarterback since luck. You have to give him a chance, put the pieces around him. You have a scapegoat, not a scapegoat because he's obviously a piece of shit. But Urban Meyer, you get him out of the way. Now you totally focus around building pieces around him. But there's also going to come
a time where it's like, okay, we paid Christian Kirk, we gave you Travis Etienne. If this doesn't work out, they're going to be like, all right, like we can't sit on this forever. I don't think it's year 2 either.
I think it's like year
in the foreseable future for him. He's not. It's not a Baker situation.
Extension, or his 5th year option.
Yeah, he'll hit his option and get extended. He's not. It's not a Baker situation. They're gonna try, unless some quarterback comes out and is just blowing them away and they're number 1 or 2.
He'll definitely get a fair evaluation of Daniel
see
Jones, because even Daniel Jones, to this extent, he hasn't gotten the support that he needs. And this year will be the real.
Yeah, but Daniel Jones sucks. We know that.
Yeah, but
okay. It's bad. Trevor has skill.
He played at Duke.
Trevor has skill at the position of quarterback.
Trevor Lawrence is
doesn't.
he's a national champion, and he's played well in
I'm
college.
not even holding him to that category because he's a national champion. I'm just
saying that he has the pedigree coming into the NFL that he gets a longer leash than Daniel Jones ever did, because he played at fucking Duke.
Daniel Jones should never play basketball or football.
But if we
continue, go play basketball.
If we hold it to the same standard with people like Josh Allen, he played at Wyoming, was garbage at Wyoming, and Justin Herbert wasn't nearly as good as he is now at Oregon.
The build was there. You saw with Josh Allen, like, hey, if we can just get him under some throwing coaches,
I think
Justin Herbert even the same. Like they're the prototypical quarterback, the size.
Even with Trevor Lawrence having like a regression, like even this year maybe not being as good as they expect him to be with his prototype, him, meeting that prototype, he'll still get.
Wait till he cuts that hair. It's
gonna be over.
He'll be all right.
Yeah,
I can see this being a year for Alabama, where one of those weird years where they're good, but it's not like they're clearly gonna win the championship.
They kind of maybe lose a game to A&M, like a weird game.
They might lose to Georgia. They might lose to A&M, because I still think Georgia's probably better.
You think that they're the favorite over Ohio State right now?
Yes.
Who, Alabama?
Yeah.
Probably.
You think Ohio State has a chance?
It's hard to bet against them.
Yes.
They'd be number 2.
I think there's 3 teams that have a chance. I don't think
Bama, Georgia, and Ohio State.
Yeah.
Yes.
What it comes down to me is who has the best player, and at the end of the day, Alabama's got
maybe 3 of the best players.
Well, no, I think Will Anderson's the best player in college football.
He could disrupt the game, and that's all you need. You need a turnover right there.
But I think Bryce Young's in the conversation for top 3 college football players, just because he's been consistent, even as a as a freshman and a sophomore. Like
some lists have this guy ranked kind of high. Some of them don't have him at all. Grayson McCall, it's because he plays for Coastal California or Carolina. Sorry,
I was looking.
He last night he had 174 yards, 3 touchdowns. He showed that he's good. Playing against Army, I'm pretty sure they upset Army because it's just not a team. But this dude
you upset Army
because their team's
Army and Navy.
He's the only player from anything I've seen. But
a lot of these games are preseason games too.
So it's like a Liberty situation where he's kind of just in the dark.
I think he's
on
a sleeper
his team.
hit for whenever he gets drafted, he could be someone who.
Yeah, because who the fuck was watching Liberty?
Nobody.
Until Malik Willis was there, I didn't.
Yeah, I think we're gonna I think towards the end of the year, this is gonna be a name that you're like. I don't want to say like a Bailey Zapp kind of situation where it's he's balling the fuck out.
That's Western Kentucky quarterbacks though.
Yeah,
that's their offense.
I mean, the very first touchdown of the season was out of WKU. Yeah. So I mean, they're always.
I think this is gonna be a quarterback who's balling the fuck out. That's not talked about at all. Mm-hmm. And then maybe at the end of the year you start looking at them different, but That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
The problem is the teams that are going to have the top picks in the league are teams that not like. Yeah. The only other teams that I see moving in that would make sense is if Jalen doesn't pan out. You've got 2 first-round picks, or Miami if Miami doesn't pan out. But all of the teams that are going to be in those first picks, they're not going to need a quarterback.
Houston, Detroit will be looking. Detroit's definitely
going to be looking.
Atlanta should be looking.
Washington,
there's a difference of.
Are you serious? You like Mariota and Ritter over Young?
They're not going to go a third-round pick for Ritter and then
a third-round pick for number one. If you get the number one pick, you're taking Young or Stroud.
We'll see.
You ship Mariota and let Ritter stay behind him. You're not paying either one of them.
Because
you let Ritter learn behind somebody that's better than him.
Ritter, the season also hadn't started. What happens?
Don't give a
Ritter's
fuck.
Good.
I don't care.
And you can strengthen your team.
If I'm number 1 or 2 and Bryce Young and Stroud are there, you cannot justifyingly not take them.
There's only very few teams.
I was going to say
Jaguars
I could very easily I could justify it for the Falcons.
To not take a quarterback if you're 1 or 2.
Quarterback, yes. Because Will Anderson.
You better ride or die with Ritter. Ritter better fucking ball out.
But that's what I'm saying. If he plays well, I'm not gonna. Why would I upgrade there when I can very clearly upgrade my defensive line, which is the problem?
They don't have a defensive. They have Dante Fowler. Dante Fowler's their only pass rusher.
Well, then not even that. They don't even have him because he's not fucking decent. They have AJ Terrell. That's their best player.
We have not even said that Ritter's going to start. To get out there and show you're good, you have to play.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is he'll get
in the games later in the year.
Ritter will get the chance.
If they start out like 0-5,
I just don't think Ritter's going to be bad to where they're like, oh, it's clearly we have to take a quarterback. I think Will Anderson, if we're looking at it, Will Anderson probably changes your team faster for the Falcons than CJ Stroud.
Ooh, if they were 1 or 2 and they traded back to 4 or 5.
Even if they're 2 and they take Jalen Carter, that changes your team faster than drafting a quarterback.
Yeah, but you hang on to your job a lot more if you get the quarterback in there and get the quarterback right.
Oh yeah, you love the.
If you're still going, if you're winning 4 or 5 games and Ritter's your starter, no one's going to be like, "Oh, I'm happy for this Falcons team."
Yeah,
you want something
the mock draft.
I just don't see it
being the worst, and they're going to take Will.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
I think there's the argument to take a quarterback here. Number 2,
it all depends on Ritter.
Yeah,
and
the 2 is the Texans. They have them taking CJ Stroud.
Yes,
I think that if the Texans are the second worst team in the league, they're taking a quarterback. 3rd is the Jets. If the Jets are the 3rd worst team in the league, do they take a quarterback? No. I don't think so.
I don't think they do.
4, Seattle. Seattle takes a quarterback.
Yeah.
Easy.
5 is the Bears. If the Bears are the 4th, do they replace Fields?
No.
I don't think so.
It depends on how good he plays.
No.
I don't hate Fields. The problem is your offensive line can't hold up to protect him.
Yeah. That is such a cop out.
That's where
a
pick
shit.
I mean, I don't know about this. Says Keyshawn Boyd for who they would take.
It's
who's to say that this isn't an offensive line pick?
Yeah, it should be.
If Justin shows that, hey, I can fucking stand.
Yeah,
we can play football.
It's
here.
not a heavy offensive line draft though.
6 is the Jags.
Yeah, go get him a weapon then.
Yes.
Go get him a weapon.
Jackson. That's the purpose.
Well, I'm just saying if these teams fall to the number 1 or 2. If the Jags are number 1 or 2, they're not taking a quarterback.
No,
Detroit's going to take a quarterback.
They haven't taken Will Levis.
Yes.
I like
Panthers. If the Panthers fall into that top 3 worst teams, do they take a quarterback?
Top 3 worst teams?
Top 3 worst teams, do they take a quarterback?
Baker's already been shown they can. He's a fucking scapegoat. You can use him as.
You're paying Darnold.
I don't give him.
And you're taking another quarterback.
Yeah, you're paying a rookie. He'd be a rookie.
Yes, I know, but still.
If you are top 3, take Will Anderson. I guess.
See, the thing where you're kind of confused, or not confused on it, but you're kind of holding back is because you're Baker can play. But the problem is I don't. You would?
I would take a quarterback.
Okay,
no,
me
I'm
too.
Just saying.
If I'm in that top position, I'm taking the quarterback because I'm not beholden to either of these fucking quarterbacks. Yeah. I got these fucking. I got these trash bags from somewhere else.
Yeah.
I'm not beholden to them. I didn't draft them. Yeah. It's the same thing. This is the same thing I talk about when it comes to the Eagles. This is why I'm so scared for Jalen, because everything is stacked against them. Yeah. Nick Sirianni didn't draft them. They have 2 first-round picks, and they're capable of moving on and going and get a different quarterback. He has to play out of his mind, and that's where I'm kind of fuck, like this is a lot.
But they
of
weren't
pressure
unfair
for
to him
someone
when
like
they
that.
decided to build this team to figure out if he was the guy.
Yes, that's why I love
They
that they gave him.
They
chance.
have went as
But
all in as any team.
We're
can.
talking about the Panthers.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm
They're
not being
fucking coaches on the
beholden.
hot
I get the
seat, too.
chance.
Baker had to pay
Matt
to be on
Rule-
that team, so they
Matt
are
Rule
not
could be
going
out
to.
there.
That GM,
fucking chance they're both gone.
Yeah, but Matt Rule could be out too. That's
I
the
have-
thing. Like they've got a fucking coach that isn't good.
The next one's an easy answer. The next two, I think, are the questionable ones. The Giants.
Yes.
Giants take a quarterback.
Yes.
Fuck yes.
They haven't taken Anthony Richardson.
Anthony
Yes.
Richardson. Yeah.
But we're talking about this 10th team, if they fall to that 1 or 2, 3 spot, if one of the two quarterbacks are left.
At 10?
No. I'm saying Washington.
if they're worse than the what
Yes.
they're projected
They're
at.
projected. The Commanders. are
Yeah,
next.
I'm not beholden to Carson.
Okay.
They did draft
Sam Howell.
Matt. Yeah, they got Sam Howell
No.
as well.
Yes.
I don't care. No.
I love Sam Howell. I forgot all about that. I meant
Young and Shroud.
no. I meant no.
Woo, Young and
Now that's the
Anderson?
thing that makes it iffy.
No, it's
but
not. It's not
there's
iffy.
nothing.
I still wouldn't do it. I'm like, no.
They would get Will Anderson for sure.
Back
That's all they
Carson.
do. Washington
Yeah.
goes for off or
Chase
defensive
Young,
linemen.
Jonathan Allen, fucking.
But I'm saying if the Commanders
Have
fell
fun
to
playing
the,
offense.
the Commanders fell to that 3rd pick and Young and or Shroud was there, do the
Yes.
Commanders take that pick?
Yes.
No,
I think so.
I
Yes,
think
they
our
do.
defensive
They
line
stick with
They
Stroud,
do.
I
or they
think-
stick with Sam Howell. Or
They'll go with
Wentz.
Sam. Sam showed that, like, hey, just give me the starting job. We can win games.
But what if Wentz throws for like 40 touchdowns and they still suck?
They're
Man throws
not.
40 touchdowns.
I doubt
Wentz
he's
throws
going
40
to.
touchdowns. My fucking prediction's coming true.
That's not happening.
And somebody's winning the NFC
not
The
East.
last one I have, and I think it's an easy answer: the Steelers. If the Steelers are that
Hell no.
third worst pick,
No.
or the 3rd pick in the draft, CJ Stroud's there.
No.
This has the Eagles picking 15th.
I could see them
Because
building,
the Saints
building up the defense, though.
Saints pick though. If what?
No, I would be all in on the Eagles if they did this. If they took Brian Breesy, the fucking inside lineman from Clemson, that big fucking white boy, oh my god, no. That'd be ridiculous. They'd be terrifying. Yeah, I was sitting there because I was sitting
the
there.
team that takes a quarterback
No,
that low.
because I
If
was
the
like,
Colts
it's
had a
11.
horrible year. If the Colts had a terrible year, they fall into that 3rd pick.
Yeah, I'm
They
not
take
beholden to
quarterback?
Matt Ryan
Yeah.
either.
I'd,
I think so, too.
I'd hang on to Matt Ryan, though.
I would too.
You
but-
would play Matt Ryan,
Yeah,
but you
have
would
CJ
have your
Stroud
backup
behind Matt
ready.
Ryan for
Or
1
you
year.
really, that's a winnable.
Another
division.
thing we're not
That's
talking
high.
about.
What
Another
about
thing
the
we're
fans?
not talking about this because I was talking to Edmonds and he said something that A, surprised me for being a Packers fan, and B, has really brought something into my mind. Jordan Love looks fucking good when he's playing.
3/4.
Like,
he had one horrible preseason game.
Who? Yeah,
He's also
but
a preseason guy.
But like, we're also saying who's not
That's a complete 180 from how that building and everyone else has felt about him.
like.
They probably feel Aaron's about to walk out, and they're like, "Hey, Jordan, we love you,
Well,
buddy."
he looks like in
love
some of
you,
the
buddy.
plays that he's playing good. It's the same shit that Aaron does. Let me get out of the pocket a little bit and just throw this fucking dart right on the money sideline. Like who's to
Or
say
that-
that one of these teams don't trade? Like this is the thing that we don't think about. We're just going, oh, they're just going to strictly draft. Like imagine if Detroit goes and gets Jordan Love.
But all right.
And they in their 7th spot they
Is he
take
such a big upgrade from
Jackson
Jared Huck-
Smith from fucking.
He's not exactly. He's not a huge upgrade. If I wouldn't even take him over
I think
Jared
the
Goff.
Packers are looking at another Brett
Jordan
Favre,
Love over Jared Goff?
Aaron
No.
Rodgers.
No.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
I think that's what they want it to be. I don't think it is going to be that.
No.
What if they're that bad though that they can get CJ Stroud or Bryce Young?
They don't do it. They just paid
What?
that much.
They
They're
don't
not.
sit CJ Stroud or Bryce Young for 3 years?
No.
They're not gonna
Yes,
be
they
that bad.
do. What if they are?
Well, yeah.
What if?
I don't think any of the.
Why
Then
would
Aaron
they?
got hurt.
Al Lazar's going to lead the league in receiving.
He's not.
Then Aaron got
not
hurt.
happening.
All right.
Yeah, Aaron got
We're
hurt.
gonna move on. We're gonna move on. Now we're moving on to our 4th and final segment before last call. Mount Rushmore of sports. We all got to pick who we're putting on our Mount Rushmore of all sports, not just football, not just basketball, but everything. So
I'm getting a little racist in here.
who you got then?
All right, I'll kick it off then.
Yeah, who you got?
This was so hard. It's going to be so
Yes,
controversial.
We all have a couple honorable mentions that we're going to mention.
Yeah, I've got
after, but
my number one guy. Like it's hard to. I didn't get to watch him play. I didn't get to watch a few of these guys in their prime, but it's hard to argue their legacy and what they've done for their sport. My number one is Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Could have put LeBron James on there, if whoever's your GOAT in your era, your generation. But for me, it's hard to argue Michael's impact on the game, legacy, how much he's going to be remembered far, far after he's gone. My number 2 is Muhammad Ali.
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
And that was one that I went back and forth on with one of my honorable mentions, and I was like, Muhammad Ali, just lasting legacy, especially being here, around here, is just everyone knows who Muhammad Ali was. One of the best heavyweights of all time. Just what he did outside of basketball, or outside of fighting too, with everything is just gonna stay with him, with us longer, well after he's been gone, obviously. My number 3, Tiger Woods. I started watching him when I was young and never seen anyone dominate their sport, and no one ever will. He's got some things that hold him back, obviously, from his personal life and that he's done, but hard to argue Tiger Woods.
I don't think we should hold these people back because of shit that they've done in their career.
But that's what people. I mean, it's just if there's a negative.
I get why
performance-wise, he is the greatest golfer I've ever seen. Period. There's no one really touching him except Jack.
I'm not saying like obviously if Deshaun Watson, like we're talking about that, like that has to be mentioned, but
people are going to bring that with Brady as well.
I'm not afraid to look at pure on the field. Now, if it's
this is my personal. If I were to look at it like this 4 people across all sports in history.
No, I agree with that.
That's going to come down to the niche.
I was just like, I don't think you should feel like you were saying like, oh, because of the stuff off the field. Like, I don't even think you should. Yeah. You are right in your pick.
But some people will, and they will do that with even Brady. Yeah. Brady does not make my list, and it was so hard. He beat my number 5.
Yeah,
that's
wild. And number 4 for me is Serena Williams.
Yes,
and especially lately. I mean, she played fucking pregnant. She has. I can't even fit her accomplishments. It would just be a dissertation of her accomplishments, and there's no one really touching her in her sport, and it's kind of crazy to see how much she's dominated. And you could argue Brady, really hard to not put Brady on here, but there are things to pull him back. You could be a hater.
Serena's so good that she brings attention to her sport.
That's what's big. That's what I think should be a lot mentioned into this is what brings. Like you brought eyes.
Your impact, your legacy. Like Jordan brought kids across the world.
Yeah,
knew his name.
Jordan made basketball global.
Made it global. His brand, his legacy, his name are going to live on way past him. Yeah. Tiger Woods. I mean, has been offered millions to go to live, whatever that golf thing, and he's like, no, I'm good. And if anything, you can pull him back. If he would have had none of that go on, he's got a pristine. Track record. I mean, it's like LeBron. If you want to put him up there, it's like people want it like on your Mount Rushmore, who is just undoubtedly like the best. You could like Michael Phelps and Tom Brady were the 2 that I really struggle with putting up here. It's just in my lifetime who I've watched just dominate unconditionally, been great, and it's been them. So LeBron too is another honor. If I could have 3 honorable mentions, LeBron, Brady, and
have as many
Phelps.
honorable mentions as you want.
So hard
because I have quite a bit. All right, Jacob, what's your Mount Rushmore?
I'll start out with Serena Williams for the
John Jones. I'm so sorry. Yes,
Serena Williams
because
of the reasons we've talked about.
Yeah.
Just the
I got an argument against that.
Which
sucks.
The sheer amount of just her accolades alone makes her the greatest of all time. John Jones, best MMA fighter of all time.
You could argue, but he'd be my GOAT. Yeah, he's
the GOAT for me.
If I were to pick from the UFC, it's him.
Well, if we're talking about UFC, if we're talking about all time, I love John. I think he's the greatest UFC fighter. I think the greatest mixed martial artist of all time is Mighty Mouse. The most flyweight championship win defenses. He just won the one championship. His overall body of work across all mixed martial arts, not just UFC, all mixed martial arts. That's what puts it above John for me, because John is just UFC, but Mighty Mouse literally just won the flyweight championship for one.
So what if Silva knocks out Jake Paul? Is he like?
It's so hard, dude.
Silva,
but I also wouldn't put. There's not an MMA fighter on
John's level.
No, not that. There's just not one on my Mount Rushmore. I don't think the MMA fighters are on the level of the Mount Rushmore.
Getting looked at. That's why not putting a football player on mine really was like, what the fuck am I doing? But it's.
No, I'm gonna get looked at goofy in a minute. But I've got an explanation on mine.
Your people were also like they were global. They had a global brand that anybody could experience their sport and love it.
But also, John's another really good example where you could be like, well, he could have been this. This is what he decided to get into instead of being
blows my mind.
But
it blows my mind that people say that he's never lost. His only losses are technicalities from UFC on fights that he won.
Yeah,
I think it's more of a chip on his shoulder too. And he goes, "It's like I'm holding I'm whooping this y'all's ass."
See, I love John, but like I said, it's just when I think of Mount Rushmore, I'm thinking of body of work across everything, and that's where kind of like Demetrius kind of fucks it up for me because like now if John was to leave and go to PFL and win the championship or like that, like that's different because like
that's the one on there. You're obviously not done, but you're hot. That's kind of like the hottest take we'll probably hear.
Yeah,
and he's not done either. He was the youngest to be the best.
But lasting legacy over like Brady.
Well, that is what you have in your pocket. Because if he comes out and he starches Francis and then goes and fights Stipe or Cyril and starches them, like that's two divisions.
Yeah.
That's the marquee division. Like think of it. When you think of wrestling, when you think of fighting, what is the marquee division? Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson. Like look, it's heavyweight.
They're the giants of the sports world.
Brock Lesnar in WWE, like fucking
Brock in the heavyweight division in the UFC.
Brock was a fucking fourth fight. His fourth fight in the UFC, he was heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
It's heavyweight is. When it comes to fighting, that's the division you want.
So John comes out has like a whole other second career of just domination.
Yeah. It's kind of like
it's kind of like weight class.
It's kind of like the first half of Brady's career at the Patriots, and then like the second half, it's like they're.
This is his Tampa Bay.
They both be Hall of Fame
even the
careers.
Tampa Bay, like
Kobe.
Because he's older.
24 and 8.
Hall of Fame.
Look at the difference between 24 and 8.
I
love John Jones.
Isn't he like 34, something like that?
John Jones, I think
he's older.
But John Jones over like Usain Bolt, like these guys. Like
that's where
Kareem.
It's hard for me. That's where it's hard for me.
I think about
if you just do like accomplishments like in their,
I don't think you're wrong.
Sports.
I think if there was going to be anybody,
if we're talking about just straight impact in terms of like even in a team setting, I don't see how Michael Jordan or Tom Brady couldn't be on there. But LeBron James too, like if you could put him on.
The problem is we've got people who dominated in sports where it's just them. Serena, Michael.
That's what I'm saying. Like they have the most impact because they're fighting and they're playing themselves. You know, like even
I love the John
even in
Jones
doubles,
pick.
she's been a Grand Slam double champion. Like
you got Floyd Mayweather on your honorable mentions, Bruno?
I don't.
Damn.
I'm sitting here debating on if Tyson should be in my honorable mentions.
Tyson, everyone loved Tyson. He was up there.
It was the most. I equate Tyson to Shaq. It was the most dominant run that anybody has ever seen. Yeah. Like we've never seen a more dominant run than what Shaq was doing in the NBA. Like
and the influence is just so crazy.
And Tyson,
there's an argument.
Like Tyson is revered as a god.
There's an argument on who's the best Mike. Jordan, Michael Jackson, or Mike Tyson. There's that argument of who's the best.
I can
you just have them in order for me.
No, I can easily say it. I mean, it's Jackson, Jordan, Tyson. That is
for you. It's very easy. For a lot of people, it's tough.
I think he said it. He said it in order. For me,
talk about
that's very crazy.
It's crazy to say that, but we're talking about Mount Rushmore. On music, that's a lot. There's no doubt. You can't talk about music and not talk about Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Elvis.
Yeah. But I want to hear what's the rest of your list?
Well, I've got Serena, John Jones, Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And I put Brady on my list.
Yeah.
I went. I went. I don't know. I feel like I went USA centric because even having American football on a Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Is an American concept because Mount Rushmore is in America.
But the concept is the four greatest.
It's not our fault that our players are better.
But I'm just saying,
who's Jordan? Who's Brady? Who's Serena?
Yeah.
Who's Tiger? It's not our fucking fault.
The concept
that sounds
of
elitist,
Mount Rushmore,
and that sounds like, America's the best, but it's not our fault.
No, I mean, I'm not. I don't give a
That's
fuck
what we
about
see, grow up with. That's who we get to see, and watch. So,
but like in the context of what we've seen from like our lifetime, these four people are the best. I didn't watch Michael too much, but he was able to, even with the shoe brand alone, has been able to transcend his career as a basketball player.
See, it could be
so many people walking around with fucking Jordans and shit.
If we were going off of,
like the best,
that's the thing is I don't want to be beholden to just because we didn't see him. Because if we're doing that,
LeBron would be over Jordan for me then.
Yeah,
well,
me too.
Kobe would be on my Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, Kobe was my favorite player growing up too. I really looked like AI too.
Like Kobe, if we're going off of just people we've seen, Kobe would be on my Mount Rushmore.
Mm-hmm.
He's easily like when I watch him, I see him and LeBron literally in the same light.
Yep.
They are just, you take either one, you win.
Some older guys feel that way about Marino, Elway, Montana.
Like,
They're still put him above.
I know LeBron is the better basketball player, but like if it's like you're picking between LeBron and Kobe, it's like because like Kobe, I don't know Kobe. I got into watching Kobe more than I did LeBron.
But like when they were both in the league, it was so much closer. But LeBron's got the longevity.
But the brand of what Jordan is, the fact that he's synonymous with his shoe brand, and him as a basketball player is like second nature to his basketball shoe brand, like his clothing brand.
Yeah. Not saying LeBron hasn't done that either.
Who the fuck is Michael Jordan? And people walk around
too.
with fucking Jordan's clothes on. And they're like, oh well, we never watched Michael Jordan, but he's still the GOAT.
Yeah.
Like you have kids like Gen Zers and fucking like people way younger than us are like, yeah, Michael Jordan's the GOAT.
Yeah,
I think it's actually
Who's your honorable mentions? Did you have any?
No, but if I had to think of them, probably like Tyson Fury probably be in there.
Wow, I like that a lot.
you got a lot of fighters.
Yeah, I respect it.
I'm okay with Usain Bolt too. I think he'd be in there. Jackie Robinson.
Yeah.
To popularize, but Babe Ruth. Younger, like way older, way beyond our generation. Like
okay. I'm gonna save me for last, just because I'm selfish. So who do you?
Mine could just be four different faces of the same fucking person. If I'm being
really
honest, it'll be Thomas Edward Patrick Brady, and that's it. Like it's the four. It's Thomas Edward Patrick Brady.
The fourth one, you be riding his dick on the fourth one.
So I am here to make the argument that Mount Rushmore wise, he should be over Jordan. Now here's
so number
why I'm
one,
saying that. He's got more championships. And on top of the fact that he is on top of every statistical category in his sports. Yeah. Yards, touchdowns, wins, playoff wins. Jordan's not. He's not number one in points. He's not number one in assists. Like, these are the things that, like, if we were actively looking at...
Adam Vinatieri.
Stop.
Tuck rule.
Gambling problem. I left for 2 years because I wanted to.
Tampering. He wanted to go to Miami with Sean Payton. In the middle of playing with somebody.
No. Tom, if we're looking at it resume, Tom is the one person I have on mine that isn't a global reach. That's like, he's not a global icon.
But he's worked a lot. That TB12 brand, he's turned it into more shit.
That too, but his resume and what he's done what he's done playing, you're talking about dominating. He has been the staple of what a quarterback should be. Yeah. He's been the most winningest person.
The only player that I've heard people ever compare, could be the best player ever in the league is Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's another reason why I have Brady on here is because he's consensus.
Mm-hmm. So
you ask everybody in the league who's the greatest player of all time, 95% of the time, if they're not from San Francisco or Tom Brady himself, because he's not going to say himself, they're going to say Tom Brady. I don't think so.
I think Tom would say himself at this point.
He would literally pull his rings up, sit all
but he was a 49ers fan growing up.
You want to hear some crazy shit?
Him
and Breeze were fighting back and forth for the top of the league or top of all time in terms of yards. He is tied for 30th all time in interceptions thrown. Breeze is 12th.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's good.
So in terms of negative plays, he is far better than Breeze.
And you think of Breeze, you think of accuracy and not turning the ball over. It's kind of
he's had multiple 5,000-yard seasons just like Breeze.
MVP.
Where's Rodgers? Is he never won?
Multiple Super
just
Bowls.
not throwing picks.
I don't fucking know. Matt Ryan is
who else you got?
48.
Serena. I don't know anything about tennis, but I know Serena.
Mm-hmm. Go watch Serena play. Go watch Serena or Venus play. It's
now
crazy.
I really don't know what to do here. Because I had my third one. It's my fourth one that might give me clout. My third one's Ali. I mean, we grew up here. I grew up in Louisville. It's different. Mm-hmm. It is that is like you see it everywhere.
It hits home.
It's not
his name's everywhere.
That. You're driving downtown and you just go past a random gas station. And he's on the side, and it's talking about him fighting listed. Like it's
best promoter ever in boxing. Like talking that shit.
He not even that. Just the stance that he would take political wise. Like I'm not going and fighting them. They don't have any. Like I don't have any beef with them. Like I'm not going and fighting a government's fight that
always said
was taboo at the time,
always.
but is now. If every time you hear something go to war, people are like, "Oh, I'm not willing to fight for this country." Like, it was taboo then, and he was willing to take the step forward on top of all of the other things. And I'm going to say this now, just because I'm probably going to put him, but I feel like there's two other players that I can make the argument that deserve to be on there better. And I fully believe that I can make the argument that both Bill Russell and Kareem deserve to be on Mount Rushmore over Jordan. Just because of...
You're looking through like high school, college,
well, not even that.
Outreach. Like,
not even that. We can go just straight from their play in college, in NFL,
oh, he bringing up stats.
We can talk about their stats, but I also want to talk about Bill Russell's social reach, Kareem's social reach. Like, Jordan actively didn't want to be into that stuff, and that's not a problem. I don't fault him for that. I don't fault KD for not wanting to be the face of the team. Like, I don't fault them for that. But when it comes to Mount Rushmore and we're thinking of like Mount Rushmore, when people go and they look, they're seeing our four presidents that we considered like they created this country and shaped it to what it is. Like when I think of Mount Rushmore, these players shaped it. Now I probably will put Jordan, but my next two honorable mentions are Bill Russell and
those
Kareem.
Are amazing honorable
And
mentions.
then I would go Bolt. And then if I absolutely had to put a fighter there, just off of resume, it would either be Demetrius. I would actually have three. None of them are boxers. This is fucked up. But it'd be Demetrius Johnson, Henry Cejudo, or Daniel Cormier. Just because the one thing that Henry and Daniel have over Demetrius is they've got Olympic gold medals. On top of
you put them over Silva, GSP.
Henry being a two belt. He held two belts. Daniel held two belts. Like it's.
So your third was Jordan.
My third, it's Brady. Oh, is this in order? Is this supposed
your
to be
top four? Yeah, you said a lot of honorable mentions. I don't.
I have Brady, Serena, Muhammad, and Jordan.
Jordan was your okay.
Honorable mention: Bill Russell, Kareem, and then all. I'd go Usain, and then probably I'd go Cormier. Cormier is just because he's a heavyweight. He held the heavyweight belt.
To go.
Yeah. So mine.
Mahomes honorable mention. I'm just gonna throw it in there.
Yeah, I like that. So mine is.
That's my last call. I'm glad you fucking said that. Thank you.
So let's go.
Yeah. All right. So my Mount Rushmore, I went with, and I actually had to take Ali off of mine because what I wanted to do is I wanted to do two people that are locks. Those two are Jordan
Serena.
and Serena. Those are my two locks. Jordan, the one thing for me, and over some of the other players, when I looked up top sports in the world 2022, basketball's third. Without Jordan making it global, it's not.
You know, another person, another reason I don't want to lean all in on Jordan is because another person that really helped that was Yayo. Because he brought China to basketball. Yeah. Like that was the biggest shift we had outside of Jordan.
Yeah,
there's been a handful of people I could say have been big over there, like Tracy, D Wade was real big over there.
Kobe,
AI, like those players. But
and then my other two, I wanted to give who I think are very deserving, and I could make the argument on why they're on this list. I wanted them to be on here, but I wanted two people that no one else said. Ali was on my original list because I didn't think he would be on anyone else's. So I'm super happy to see that he was. So he is now an honorable mention. Usain Bolt is someone that's been named. He's going to be my third. Just what he's done for track and field, and I honestly don't think, especially like for our generation, I don't think anyone was caring about track and field. Same thing.
It's
like
always
Serena.
a step stool for other sports.
What is it, Tyson?
Yeah.
Like
Tyson
we ran
Gay,
track and
Geyer.
field because we played football.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like it was,
but there aren't a lot of Americans like personally that I could think of that have ever drawn my attention to a TV or like you hear he's just shattering records. It's been Usain.
Yeah, and Usain is that guy. And Phelps ended up being an honorable mention because of that. Because Michael
Phelps
is someone
is
very, very arguable for this.
He's my first one now.
He's dominated.
He's my first fucking honorable mention.
I understand why this person was looked over. My last Mount Rushmore, Coach K. No one thought of a coach.
God,
but a coach is so
that is
big.
That's huge, and I mean he's synonymous with Duke.
Yeah, if I had to pick a coach, it's Coach K. I thought about maybe throwing Bill Belichick or Greg Popovich, but I think Coach K.
Phil Jackson,
yeah. I think
Jackson,
Coach
you could
K
argue with Lakers and the Bulls. It's kind of crazy.
So
the greatest coach ever,
Team USA.
That's them.
Well, that is
college, and it's such an elite level.
I actually really love what you just said there because he is the first person that he is we don't think when we think of Duke, we don't necessarily think of they had Kyrie and Jason Tatum and Zion, all these great players.
You think of the coach.
Thinking they've had fucking Coach Z, and they have.
So I saw a list and it had top programs ever. Top programs ever. I think it was North Carolina, Kentucky, Kansas, and then Duke was 4.
Yeah.
The only fucking reason Duke is 4, which is crazy to say, they're up there with those programs ever. It's because of Coach K. One man.
So my honorable mentions, I mentioned a couple. Phelps, I thought he was kind of in the same criteria that I wanted on those last two, but he's not Usain Bolt.
Oh, you want to talk about having?
So you say Ali would have made it? Just you wanted to have a couple different.
That was one of the two big shout-outs.
Gotcha.
Tom Brady, we've already talked about why. Tiger Woods definitely would have been on mine for the same reason Jordan. He just changes.
That's another thing we never.
Pele.
Ooh.
Pele is on my honorable mentions
That's a good
because
one.
soccer is the biggest sport. A soccer player should have been on. And if I didn't want to just kind of give a shout out on it, I think Pele makes my list. I think.
I wish soccer was a little.
Could have been, but
I wish for them because Ronaldo's.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like the richest. Him and Messi are always top paid, but soccer's just not as big here.
Yeah.
And also Tiger Woods, that's one of the only reasons he made my list too. How many people really can sit down for hours and watch golf?
Not many.
Whenever Tiger's playing, though,
a lot.
Millions across the world are drawn to watch him, and I was one of them. It's Tiger's playing. You want to bet against Tiger?
Yeah.
No, I'm taking Tiger against the fucking field, and every one of these new guys coming in with Ricky. There's Ricky, and then all these.
Yeah, I just don't know.
A few new guys coming on. They're comparing him to. Is he the next Tiger?
Yes.
And it's Tiger's.
Bill Russell was on my honorable mentions. I have a lot of honorable mentions. Bill Russell was on it because of the reason that you said. He was bigger than basketball.
Yeah.
And that's why he almost was
Kareem
there with Jordan. But just the impact Jordan made on the actual sport versus what
Jordan made the impact and didn't have to do all of that.
Yeah.
And I think that's I will be just as big as any of these other players and not dabble in.
You know what I'm very, very, very surprised?
I mentioned Ali. He's my honorable mention. I threw Sauce Gardner on my honorable
mention.
I love it so much.
Oh, my God.
That's my
Pick a new age guy. Mahomes would be mine if I had it. I like that. You know what really surprised me? LeBron was not on anyone's. And I was like, he's going to be on at least 2. Yeah. I thought he'd be on yours, and I thought he'd be on his.
Yeah. I like him more, but
I do too.
Global impact is more important than
really surprised me.
Being the best basketball player.
I think Coach K is a great take too, but that also brings into question the greatest coaches ever. And I think that's when the real argument sets in. Do you bring up Phil or some of these football
coaches? I think you go Bill, Phil, K, and
Greg.
Yeah.
But you could also who coached UCLA for.
Yeah.
He's a Wooden.
And that's also awards. That's where I think I'm a lot more biased. Who's a soccer coach? I ain't never heard of one. I don't even know if they have coaches.
I think they have. There's baseball. They got managers.
Yeah,
it's not it is, but it's not.
Baseball's a weird one. You're not calling plays.
Yeah, I don't get that either.
You're giving signs. You're base running. Yeah. You're setting lineups.
In the sports we mentioned, basketball and football, you're calling plays a coach
every second. Every play is under your...
Yeah, other than the NBA where you have a lot more ISO, but other than that, and then QBs can call the audible, but other than, especially, and I think that's another thing for Coach K, college basketball is play-by-play, 90% of it, other than fast breaks. NBA, you have ISO
Is it?
players.
I feel like college would be more centered around like learning, like
because it doesn't.
plays and stuff.
It is, but like the only teams that matter for are teams like if that was Kentucky, if that was the case for Kentucky, Kentucky would win the fucking championship every year because they would actually have a coach instead of just a recruiter.
Well, yeah, he doesn't. He's not on the board. Like
if Kentucky had that's where
running
Coach Z
plays like that.
comes in because he's the coach, and not only is he the recruiter, he's also coaching. Hey, you guys have to run the system that I run.
Yeah, Coach K builds them up to be young men too.
Yeah.
Like outside of like once you're gone.
The only time that I can remember in recent memory that he just let him go was when he had Kyrie.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "I just do your fucking thing."
Yeah,
like
Kyrie's different.
Kyrie didn't play that many games, but when he did, you can't
30.
put him in a fucking system.
You just summarized Kyrie's entire career. Didn't play many games, but when he did, boy, was he good.
Boy, you in that bag.
Just
That
dominant.
That was a good one. I like that.
I do too. So now we're going to move on to last call. Moving on to our last call. Again, last call is we all just get to pick something that didn't make the main topics and just, put something out there. So we're going to start with someone who really wanted it to be a main topic and no one else did. Jacob, what's your last call?
Literally,
It really wasn't a main topic I wanted, but I mean, we can put
He sent it
fake
as a
news
main
out there if we
topic.
want.
It's fine. What you got?
Howie Roseman's the GOAT.
Who?
Starting out,
Do you know your team's GM?
starting out this season.
You should actually say it. It's the general manager for the Eagles.
Yeah, Howie Roseman is the general manager for the Eagles, and I'm not talking about specifically just his transactions this year. They always have, within the management facility, I guess, in the front office, there's always at least a couple of people that leave and end up being GMs for other teams.
Yeah.
Joe Douglas for one, Andrew Berry for another.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt real quick. Did he win you all the Super Bowl? Was he the general manager for the first Super Bowl?
Yes,
He's also the general manager that passed on DK and Justin Jefferson,
He still got him the Super Bowl. Their only
who
Super
took Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson and was laughed at league wide.
But go ahead with your. I just
Are
wanna
you
know
good?
if he won the Super Bowl.
Are you good?
Anyways, so just this offseason, he was able to trade with the Saints and pick up a first rounder next year. Everybody lauded that trade. It was a good trade. Then in the draft, 13 overall, we traded up from 15 to 13 with the Texans, I believe, to get above Baltimore before they took him, and we got Jordan Davis. Probably the best player, defensive player in the draft. I think it's questionable. At 18 overall,
It's not questionable for the best defensive player in the draft.
well, yeah, Sauce. Forgot about Sauce. Never mind.
I don't think. I mean, there's quite a bit. There's a couple. I take over.
Aiden.
Yeah, like the first.
think
two
Aiden's
picks.
better?
Aiden and Kayvon are both better than Jordan Davis.
I think the first
Because he's
four
an
picks-
Eagle. If he was on the fucking Ravens, he'd be the greatest player of all time.
I really like
Kyle Hamilton. You have an argument that Kyle's a
You're
better.
such a bitch. That's
Kyle
fine.
Hamilton's a monster.
Is Tyquan Thornton better than fucking Jamison Williams now?
Continue.
Stupid
Continue.
bitch. Fuck you. Anyways,
The steal of the draft, I will agree with 100%. He was definitely the biggest
Yeah.
steal.
Jacoby Dean? Yeah.
But
And, yeah.
yeah, but I don't think that best defensive player.
yeah. So in the third round, we got Nakobe Dean, which he was given a first round grade, and he
Yes.
just slid to the Eagles. Cam Jerkins looks like a fucking monster. I don't know if y'all have been watching him. He looks exactly like Kelsey. But at 18th overall, we traded the 18th overall pick to the Tennessee Titans to get A.J. Brown, extending him to a 4-year contract, $100 million. And he's like one of the best young receivers in the NFL. Argument for him, Debo, DK. Like he's in that discussion.
I like AJ Brown a lot. I'm salty y'all get all these guys. It's just like how he just won't put the fucking phone down.
Got Kazir White for $3 million, which was kind of a steal because he was really good for the Chargers last year. We got James Bradbury from the Giants. He was a late free agency cut. Got rid of J.J. Arcega-Whiteside for literally a 7th round pick, pretty much.
He also drafted.
He got cut from the Seattle Seahawks, so he's not even on a fucking team right now. Traded Jalen Reagor to the Minnesota Vikings for
Also
2 picks.
drafted
Who was
him.
going to get 2 picks from Jalen Reagor? Harry fucking Roseman.
You shouldn't have fucking drafted him in the first place. You asked Justin Jefferson to take him.
Who would you rather have right now?
Justin
And this is a real question because I was thinking about this and it was on a lot of the Eagles talk. Because we had the opportunity.
Y'all thought Jalen was better than CD.
Shut the fuck up. We had 2 chances. We had the chance to get both these players. Would you rather have right now DK Metcalf and Justin Jefferson or A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith?
Oh, not
DK
even
and
close.
fucking
DK
Jefferson.
That's what I'm talking about, bro. If he just drafted correctly the first time around.
Okay, I thought you were about to argue.
Yeah,
we was about to flip
No, because
tables.
the thing is DK, given the Carson Wentz situation, if he had those 2 guys, what happens with that? I don't know. But I think he righted the wrongs for this season. Getting out of a shitty quarterback contract.
I was about
getting
to
all these
lose
players.
my fucking mind. I mean, okay.
I don't want us to feel like
give
we
you.
all like AJ and Devontae.
Yeah, they're not.
Just not even. That was.
But the thing is,
Ooh, that was crazy.
Justin Jefferson's better than both of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think it's arguable.
Trade your whole
DK
offense for
better than both of
JJ.
them.
Yeah.
And I don't know what is AJ Brown better than DK?
That's a questionable one.
I think in the offense, I think AJ fits really well, but I think DK could come in there and do.
So everybody
the same
thinks
thing.
Devontae's the worst out of those 4.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yes,
He's hasn't shown as much,
I mean,
and he was in a secondary.
second year.
Yeah, I mean, I think he fits better in the slot. I think he'll have a much better year this
I
year.
do too.
Yeah.
I don't think he's on the level of
He's not
the
number
first
1.
3 that we named.
No, he's.
I'm not
number
even
1
done with
receiver.
these transactions though, bro. This
You're
motherfucker.
making up for the fucking abysmal shit that he did.
Yeah.
He drafted Jordan Matthews and Marcus
I was calling
Smith.
for his
He
job
drafted-
after 2020.
He drafted J.J. Arthur.
Our number one receiver
all
was
these
fuck-
people that you're like, oh, we got rid of him and got picks for. He's the fucking reason they're there.
Our number 1 receiver
Jordan
was
Matthews.
Travis
Remember
Fulgham.
him?
Travis Fulgham was our number 1 receiver in 2020. That's how bad it got. And now it's AJ Brown. We got Hassan Reddick. I don't know if y'all know who that is. He's really fucking good. Last time I checked.
So I am looking at it, and the only picks that are still there that Howie has made is Lane Johnson.
Amazing.
That's literally it.
Devontae.
Devontae Smith. What are you talking about? Jalen Hurts. Miles Sanders. Devontae.
Yeah, but Miles isn't a fucking win. Miles is not a win at all. So
I like Miles.
Dallas Goedert.
He was in Penn
He was a
State.
second rounder.
Yeah.
He was a second rounder. I don't know if he's worth a second rounder, but like
Mid-second round pick. Dallas Goedert, who's a top
Because
5.
wasn't he there with someone else at Penn State whenever he
I
was
wouldn't say top
there?
five.
He was there with
Close to the
Saquon.
top
It was
five.
Saquon.
Yeah, he was behind Saquon.
Yeah, he's behind Saquon. So I mean,
yeah, I just
Don't want
I
to
think
second round, I guess.
I think he's made up for a lot of bad.
Yeah.
It's
I think
definitely not the
this
worst
year-
it could be.
I think it's this year is big. What he's done this year is crazy, and I think that if a GM brings you your only Super Bowl, I think it's pretty good to call him the GOAT of your franchise.
but you have to. I'd rather that than what like the Cowboys are doing. Literally fucking nothing.
Yeah.
You want to see your team. I mean, we knock on it like them going after Deshaun and Russell, but he's obviously trying to upgrade.
He's trying to make moves.
Yeah,
And that's
make moves and
all-
make you win. Like
It
the
was
Rams,
literally
you want
all
the
the
Rams
holes.
to go. You want to go all in
Yeah.
to make your team better, and it's good. You'd much rather be seeing that than oh fuck, we didn't get any of these high profile guys.
He identified the holes on his
Yeah.
roster and literally upgraded at every single position that there was a hole. That's where I'm like, I don't get how this team isn't
Couldn't see Devontae wasn't number one. You're like, let's go out and get.
Because the thing is, he
bonafide stud.
didn't rectify the issue with the quarterback, but I don't think that given 1 year of being a starter, it's enough of an evaluation of a player you took in the second round. Dak Prescott was a 4th rounder. He's a current starter.
I think it's like the situation with the Browns. They're like, we like Baker. We're okay with going forward with him when Deshaun kind of moved on until they called and they're like 230 guaranteed, and then that changes a lot of people.
the thing is that the Eagles are primed for a position moving forward that if it doesn't work with Jalen, they're still like set up for.
I don't like that narrative because like if he were to hear that, it's like, oh, you all aren't fully in on me.
But he
you
understands
also
the
have-
reality of it. He's not.
yeah,
he's not
it's-
insecure enough to know.
knows
like,
they tried to go after
Yeah,
Jalen.
it's in his
Deshaun.
hands to like change that narrative.
but that's
like, do
enough
it, but-
motivation to be like, listen, by the end of this fucking season, I'm going to be talking contract extension type shit. If that's how good he plays, he's going to be like, listen, you see all these other quarterbacks getting paid. They're getting $45 million. I just took us to the playoffs, NFC Championship type shit. Like if that's the floor for him
Yep.
this season, if he can elevate his team, to
It
the
is
Super
no
Bowl
longer the
in his
floor.
fucking
Like you
third year
all better
playing,
be you need to win a playoff game plus.
at the very least. Like that, it's a failure if you don't win
Yeah.
the division and win a playoff game.
Yep.
That's a failure.
And also, your fan base would not have been upset if you got Russell Wilson.
Not at all.
Let's be okay with that.
Think
but
about the type of assets you have to give up for that. You don't get A.J. Brown. You don't get Jordan Davis with that. Like, if you have to give up those players, I'd rather have this roster with
Howie's
Jalen
so
Hurts.
fucking magical. Make it happen.
I mean, I'd rather have this roster than not and have Russell Wilson, personally. Does everybody agree with that?
I don't know.
I think fantasy-wise, they're like, if you look at what they can do, I'd much rather have Russell Wilson lead my team than Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Think about all the transactions after Russell was traded.
How do you know they wouldn't have still been able to go out and get
Because we
AJ?
would have had to trade picks to go get AJ or to go get Russell Wilson, and we wouldn't have A.J. Brown or Jordan Davis.
Yeah, but when it's a quarterback, it's a lot different. You move.
I'm getting Russell Wilson, but I give up getting Reddick.
I think I'd rather have A.J. Brown and Jordan Davis than trade everything for Russell Wilson with Zach Pascal and fucking Rager and Devontae Smith.
That's not saying you give them up. What if you give up Reddick and somebody else?
I'm agreeing with Howie's picks right now rather than what he could have done.
The thing is, when it comes to the NFL, it like you're trying to run this narrative that quarterback play isn't everything when it is. The teams that win, they have the best.
People have taken Dallas and Washington over them purely on they trust the quarterback more.
Yeah, it's stupid.
We have seen them do more.
It's really dumb.
They're like, it's close, but I've seen Dak.
Tom Brady every year is a Super Bowl contender because it's Tom Brady.
So you're saying that you would have rather traded those picks for Russell Wilson than what they have currently on the roster.
You get Russell Wilson, you win a championship.
No,
yes,
you don't.
100%.
Not with that team. No.
If you could guarantee me, like if you didn't, like you wouldn't have gotten them, then I would have kept Jalen.
You literally couldn't have with those picks being gone. We would have had to trade both the first round picks to get Russell Wilson. Look at what Denver gave up.
You don't
we
think
would not have those picks to trade and get Jordan Davis.
Okay, we gave Amari Cooper away for fucking nothing, which we pretty much did. You don't think you couldn't have got AJ for a little less?
I think he goes for a first round.
Yeah, obviously, but we gave up a first round for Amari Cooper.
Did that trade go through first?
Yeah, Russell got traded first.
No. I mean, before Amari.
Oh, Amari was
Amari.
way back.
I thought so, but
they couldn't pay him. They had to get rid of him. Yeah, that's the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, we were going to cut him or
but Howie Roseman's a better GM than Jerry Jones.
No shit.
We got more from Jalen Rager and JJ Arcega-Whiteside.
No shit.
Than they got for fucking Amari Cooper. So
we signed the AFL MVP.
You have a terrible opinion. I don't give a fuck. We would have had to give up three first round picks to get Russell Wilson. We wouldn't have A.J. Brown.
I'm just saying your fan base would not have been mad.
No, I would have
been. If you got.
Yeah,
I mean, you would have been mad at Deshaun Watson. Obviously, a lot of people would.
Yeah, no, I would have been infuriated.
I get what you're saying, but when it comes to getting that player, it's not wrong. It's literally what anybody in the world would do.
A.J. Brown looks like a stud, too, man.
The only reason y'all did it is because it sets you up better. It sets you up better on, if Jalen doesn't pay
if that's what we did, if I had I don't know, if I had the knowledge of knowing what could have happened and we got Russell Wilson instead, I would have been upset.
Yeah, hindsight is 20/20.
Because I think this team's way
Russell
better.
may lock into a fucking Pro Bowler, so I mean...
I think Denver's roster was also better before the offseason than ours, I think.
The Broncos aren't a Super Bowl contender with Jalen Hurts at the helm, but they are with Russell Wilson. I'm just saying that. Even with all they got, Jalen's not taking that.
Jalen's not established.
They're in the same situation.
That's fine to say.
We can win a Super Bowl.
Their defense is just fucking... I think their defense is amazing, too.
I don't disagree with that point, though, because Russell's been to a Super Bowl. He's been to 2. But Jalen Hurts is in his 3rd year.
You've got him number 1 seed.
We don't even
losing like 2 games.
Y'all act like Jalen Hurts is
going to the Super Bowl.
It doesn't matter. Like he is incapable of having a good season.
No, we're not. So no one's saying that. But are we saying that he's capable of having a Russell Wilson type season? He's not.
Probably not.
Okay.
Very, very.
He is not the level
You're
of
writing him
quarterback.
off.
Good job, Howie. You didn't get.
I'm not.
You didn't get who you wanted, so you went out and used your picks.
No, it's not. That is comparing him to the top. No, it's not. That is
comparing.
How is it writing him off? I'm comparing him to the top quarterback.
Your own fucking organization wrote him off. They wanted 2 other people.
How is it writing? See, this is the thing that you do is you take any slight against him as hate. It's not hate.
You're saying he's incapable of being one of the best. He's incapable of being one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
He is incapable of being a Russell Wilson type quarterback. He's not going to be a top 5 quarterback. No, he's not.
But you're okay with saying that Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow
Justin Herbert has shown way more than Jalen has.
You all don't let me finish a point for
you. Don't have a point.
Okay. It's been 5 minutes.
Yeah. You don't have a point. Your point is that Jalen could be that when you're comparing him to people who have shown that I am that. I am him. Justin Herbert is him.
You'll give that
That's
luxury
that
to
dude.
players that aren't even in the NFL, though. You'll talk about DJU. You'll talk about CJ Stroud and Will Levis and them and say they're capable of being fucking top 5 quarterbacks.
Bryce
When
Young.
did I say that?
I'm just saying.
When did that ever happen?
Bryce
When
Young
has
or
that
Jalen
ever
Hurts?
been said?
Bryce Young or Jalen Hurts?
I say that.
Bryce Young or
Stroud's
Jalen
that
Hurts?
guy, Young's that guy.
I don't hate Jalen. I like what Jalen
I like
brings
Jalen
to
too,
the
but-
table.
Yes, you do. Stop
I'd rather
acting
have
like you
Bryce.
like him. Stop.
I
It's
like
not-
what
it's
Jalen
I like
brings
Jalen.
to the table,
Okay,
but
all right,
I mean,
let's
do I
move
think
on.
they're better with Bryce Young? Maybe.
Let's move on.
You have the Commanders make the playoffs.
All right, hold on. Do you have any last things you want to say about
Last
it before we
thoughts.
move on?
If Jalen Hurts plays like a top 10 quarterback, we're winning the Super Bowl. It's not.
I
it's not a
think
question.
no one disagrees with that. All right, Cody, what's your
He can play like a top 10 quarterback. They're not winning the Super Bowl.
top 10 quarterbacks? Fucking.
Y'all ain't even making the playoffs.
But, all right,
Okay, that's
Cody,
fine,
what's
but your
last-
team is way
You're
better.
stuck with Mac Jones.
Okay, all right. That's what on Cody, what's your last call? Cody, what's your
So, this is something interesting I saw about Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
Does he hit? You had it pulled up. Does he hit? Was it 500 touchdowns 1st, or 100 picks first?
Yeah, he's 7 picks away, and he's
7 picks
41
away, which
or
seems like a lot
he's
closer.
51,
What did he do
51
last year?
touchdowns away from hitting 500.
It was like fucking.
He was
30
40.
something,
He was
4.
41 and like 3 or some really dumb fucking shit.
But he needs what? 40? How many touchdowns to get to 500?
He needs 51 touchdowns to get to 500. He needs 7 picks to get to
So what if he goes
100.
51 touchdowns and 6 picks, and he's like,
So-
I fucking did it. I just think that's a really interesting
so
topic because
cold.
he is like the GOAT when it comes to not
Let's take our
turning the
bets.
ball over.
I mean, he's only
I'm gonna
thrown
take
double
touch-
digit.
I'm taking touch-
You think he hits touchdowns first?
I think he hits touchdowns before
Okay.
the
So that means with that receiving core, you all believe that
Oh,
he's
son of a
going
bitch, I forgot
exactly.
He has the worst receiving core.
No, Alan Lazard.
Lazard.
Let's go.
So I think
It means he has to either get close this year, throw like 3 picks.
His receiving core doesn't change the fact that he himself is
Yes,
always
I get
been careful
Exactly.
with the ball.
But okay, so does he get like 5 picks this year, 30 something touchdowns?
I think you're going to see.
Then he's got like 12 to go and 2 picks.
He's
You know what I
more
mean?
than-
It's kind of what you think he's going to
This
be.
is crazy to say. He's more than likely going to hit touchdowns before interceptions.
I think so.
Exactly.
He's never. He's
Is
only
he playing
had
on
2
perks
double
again?
digits. He's only
Because
had 2 double-digit interception seasons.
He did this. He did this on perks, bro.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
he was on.
So is he going to go out there?
I mean, so
So what's your
My knee. He's hitting them fucking touchdowns, bro. He's still going to be the GOAT.
So
Alan
this-
Lazard's going to lead in receptions. Possibly
the last time that he threw
make the Pro Bowl. That's my last thoughts. I love you, Aaron. I hope your knee's better.
quick one.
he's thrown 4 interceptions.
My knee.
He threw 4 interceptions last year. He threw 5 the year before. He threw 4 the year before. He threw 2 the year before that.
25 touchdowns?
He's
Jameis has thrown double that in one season.
So he leads all time in touchdown interception ratio. I think he's top 5 in passer rating. Let's go look.
I mean, what?
Yeah,
Peyton
he's
was
second
above him.
in passer rating.
Or Mahomes is above him, and he's tied with
So what,
Watson.
are you taking touchdown? Everyone taking touchdowns?
I think
I'm taking interceptions just because.
Oh, I like that. I like
Prove
that.
him wrong.
I'm
Go.
gonna
He's currently got the worst receiving core he's had since like the year after Jordy
but
retired.
he himself is careful with the ball. That's the thing.
Yeah, he'll throw it away.
He himself
He'll yell
is
at everybody.
careful
The
with the
reason
ball.
I-
the
am
worst
taking
receiving
touchdowns.
cores, they are the ones that have the tip passes for picks and
That's
shit.
what I think is going to happen at least
That's
a
what
little
sucks.
bit this year. But I think he's going to be more, like you all are saying, more
Yeah.
careful. I think he's going to throw it at his running backs a lot.
Yeah,
And that's why the interceptions aren't going to come.
and even if they come
51
like
though? Yeah, you go 51 and
no, he
7.
might not hit that
Do
this
it
year,
this
but he
year.
only has say he throws 5 picks,
Yeah.
so then he has 2 to get to 100. And the next
Yes.
year, if he's got like 15 touchdowns, you think he's
That's
going
what
to
I'm
throw 2
saying.
picks?
He's probably
That's
going to
why.
go into next season with 2. So he's at what 90. He's at 93
So
right
that's
now. He's
expecting us
probably
to-
going to go into next season with 97
Yeah,
and fucking like what 4 or 5 touchdowns away.
if you expect him to throw under double
some
digit
people expect him to
interceptions.
3-peat.
Something we should see
He's the
though,
favorite to be like he's
Crazy.
with
like,
that core.
one of the
If,
favorites to be
if they're
MVP.
one of the best teams in the league with that receiving core, he should. Like, if his numbers look anything like they
I
have
mean, it's
been,
Aaron. When have
He
the
should.
numbers not been that?
I'm going to save yours for last because yours is actually my favorite
Okay.
to
Yeah.
hear. So mine is, y'all think the Ravens are looking good after their first injury of the year? The mascot is on IR for a drumstick injury.
Where to go?
a drumstick injury.
Yeah,
Drumstick
he
injury.
done tore his drumstick or
I'm
some
so
shit.
fucking
he's on
mad.
IR.
What's
I'm
the
so
ETA?
angry.
Does he have? What's the recovery process for
It's
that?
the
He's on
fucking.
IR, so
They probably
at
have to
least 4
split
games.
that bitch where it's out straight, and then like it just heals back perfect, and then he can flap that bitch and get it back to strength. You know?
Drumstick. That's not a wing.
Isn't that the leg? That's a leg. The thigh.
They had a drumstick.
No, they gotta split that.
He
and
said
they
gonna
gotta have him carting around with a
stretch it out.
cast.
What do you mean? It's a straight
Split
bone.
him up real
It is
good.
it is
like
a
this.
straight bone.
Imagine breaking your femur, bro. That'd be the dumbest
I
shit.
love that they're
He's
doing
been-
this.
he's
After
been-
the most injured team in the league, they were
Yeah.
like, "We're looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's go
Couldn't
ahead and
get
get
the-
I don't know. That might be a
out."
start though to something bad. That might
Oh
be
my
some
God.
bad omen.
Yeah, if they're the most injured team in the league again, this was horrible.
Yeah.
This was the worst joke they
Good job, Cluckers.
Fuck.
He said, "Let me get the bendy drumsticks."
Get the bendy drumstick.
All right, what's your last call?
Oh man.
Forgot.
It's
We're
Mahomes
all
or
gonna.
Rodgers.
We should all have the correct answer. I know what it is.
No, because I don't think we have the correct answer.
I like being spicy, so
I love being spicy,
no,
but
there is a correct answer here.
there isn't. There might be. There's a little bit. I am wondering. So, yeah, I got to pull the stats up. So, my question is: all time has Mahomes already passed over the likes of somebody like Drew Brees?
Yes.
Because
Now-
we had a tweet.
Yes.
Hold on. Let me find the tweet.
Fuck.
Let me.
I spoiled it, guys.
Yeah, so what
there's
do
a
you-
correct
yeah,
answer here.
There is a correct answer, I believe too. I don't think we're on the same page.
So Chiefs Patrick Mahomes' next playoff win will give him as many wins as Saints Drew Brees,
Yep.
Rams Kurt Warner, Bills Jim Kelly,
Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner.
Packers Bart Starr, Broncos Russell Wilson, and Eagles Donovan McNabb. And he is what, 4 years in the league now?
He's in his 5th year.
He's in his 5th year. I know Drew has the longevity and the yards and all that, but I'm hard
There's
pressed
only
to
one
say
thing
that
that
Drew
matters.
Brees all time
There's only one thing
is
that
better.
matters.
Like Patrick Mahomes already is a better quarterback.
Go
all
look at
time
their
than
playoff stats specifically. I bet
Like,
that they're
it's-
comparable.
it's-
I'm talking about like
Well,
career playoff passing yards, career touchdown to interception ratio. Talking about just passer rating, Mahomes is 2nd overall. Or no. Let's actually go look at that.
I'm trying to. Well, I was trying to pull up their.
No, Patrick Mahomes has the highest passer rating of all time.
Barely beating out Deshaun Watson and Aaron Rodgers.
Yes.
Which is insane.
He has the highest. He has the second
Even
highest.
on a down year, like it's
he has the
it's
second
fucking
highest
incredible.
touchdown to interception ratio of all time behind Aaron Rodgers.
I just know that we have this thing, especially when it comes to being the greatest at something. Like we gotta live. Just like there's other things. Like I said, Brady. He doesn't have like for my Mount Rushmore. He doesn't have the political reach or like the world reach, but his resume within the sport is second to none. You can't argue
With how successful he's been early on,
Like-
it matches those
they-
guys. Those guys. You're talking about career Hall of Famers.
Are you talking about what we're projecting the rest of his career, or if they?
Like, I'm
Patrick
hard
Mahomes
pressed to
retired
say-
today-
Well, the tweets
Patrick
are
Mahomes-
built to be
He's
like
accomplished more.
now,
Yes.
like his very next win in year 5 is going to put him
fully
above
agree-
these guys who
I
have
fully
almost
agree
done
that
or
Patrick
done.
Mahomes is already better all time than all of these quarterbacks.
Okay. So
Even
That was
Russ.
the point.
So if
that
he
was
retired
made.
today, he would be a Hall of Famer.
Yes, if we were having to pick them, we did a fantasy draft and like all that, and everybody retired, everybody's the same. Right now, he goes over these players.
Yeah, because if you
Not only is he the better, because here's my thing: when I look at it, like especially when it comes to the NBA, LeBron is a better basketball player than Jordan. Pure basketball player, he is better. Aaron Rodgers is the most skilled quarterback I have ever seen in my life. I've never seen a quarterback as careful, as accurate with the arm as Aaron Rodgers. But all time, like if we're looking at this list, he's better than these players.
which
He's
is
better.
okay.
Than,
So stack
And he
him
has
up.
the same coach as one of those quarterbacks. He has
had
Andy,
Andy
Yeah,
Reid.
Andy
Andy
Reid.
Reid has coached Donovan McNabb. He would take Patrick Mahomes 10 times out of 10.
But you stack them up.
I think.
Super Bowl champions. Donovan McNabb multiple NFC Championship games.
Yes.
And Mahomes has done that already too.
Yeah.
And you're still putting him on par or
with the
Statistically,
Super Bowl,
with the Super
and
Bowl.
an MVP, a
Yeah.
5,000-yard season with 50 touchdowns in that same season. Like he's the
Super
thing
Bowl
is-
MVP? Super Bowl MVP as
Super
well?
Bowl, like that's the thing is like we're gonna also be looking at it with the sense of like Joe because Joe was already there in his first year. Like we can make the argument
That's
that if
a
he would
Super
have
Bowl
won it in his
earlier,
first year, he's done more than a lot of quarterbacks already have.
four straight, right? Super Bowls.
Like it's
Yeah.
like it's
Insane.
It's
Who's the most surprising name on the list?
The most surprising name on the list.
That he's already going to accomplish that with them, like in that same round.
Russell for me.
Russell.
Yeah. I didn't think Russell had been to that many.
It's cool that we think of them as winners, like consistent winners. Russell with the.
I think of him as a consistent.
Kurt Warner's one of those.
Kurt
what the
weird.
fuck? How?
Greatest show on turf, like those fucking teams.
What he did with the Cardinals too, like he went to the title with the Cardinals.
So you already said if Mahomes retired today,
see, how did you find this shit, or did you do this?
I'm locked in, man. I found it.
So who's the most surprising name to you on the list?
I'm surprised that
mine's Breeze.
It doesn't seem like Russell was, in my opinion, that like it seems like the Legion of Boom shit was like 1 year, really. In my opinion,
it didn't feel long.
Like it didn't feel long.
The fact Super Bowl, so
but the fact that he
with Marshawn there,
he managed to amass that many wins in what seemed like a short amount of time. That's what surprises me the most. Because I mean, I don't know much about Bart Starr, but Jim Kelly was the quarterback when they went to 4 fucking Super Bowls.
See, that's what the tweets about, like playoff games. Mine would be Donovan McNabb.
Yeah.
Because going to that many NFC Championship games, that means you have to make deep playoff runs.
Yeah.
He didn't get them to the Super Bowl, but he made them. He got them deep.
McNabb was the most surprising just because of the success they had. But Kurt Warner also being like, I thought he was way more successful than that, and Patrick Mahomes has already reached that level. Mm-hmm. To me, given with how much he has succeeded, if he were to retire today, he would be the Hall of Fame.
I don't know.
Yeah, so if Mahomes retired today,
not by his pod, by the way.
Thank you. If Mahomes retired today, do you take Mahomes over all of them?
Yes.
I still take Breeze over him today.
Given the
Breeze, his thing is they wish he would have won more.
Yes.
And if he would have got that second Super Bowl like Peyton did,
I think
then that kind of changes the
narrative. He made it 20 years in the NFL.
I think it's very, very close, but I think
Patrick can do a lot more with the ball too.
Yes.
But Breeze.
Well, yeah, it goes to the sense of like even talking about Aaron, like it's one of the most.
Aaron wasn't. We're talking about the people on that list though.
No, but I was saying like when you say he can do more with the ball, like if we're thinking of it like that, well, yeah, I think in my opinion, Patrick Mahomes is a better quarterback player of the position than all of them.
I think
that's like I said, the way it's structured.
I think that's player on that list probably.
Who?
Russell.
Russell Wilson as a player, the shit he can do is probably the second best player on there. McNabb, and then you've got Drew Brees is pretty talented as well.
That was just highlighting his winning.
It's crazy.
Period.
It was
that's not talking about anything else.
Yeah, that's such a crazy tweet.
I
am so happy with the quarterback playing now because it's so much better than it was a decade ago.
Yeah, it's air raid.
That's every.
But the oldest players in the league right now, they were also dominating a decade ago. Whereas like there is such parity between.
Yeah, like go look at Jerry Rice's numbers. It's stupid.
Yeah.
How the longevity of the numbers is absolutely stupid.
I would like to look back and see how because like I mean I'm not sitting here and saying that Jerry wouldn't translate, but I'd like to look at one of the things that we did when we did the draft you were talking about is like look at some of the people that they were playing against, like I would like to see what they translate because the NFL,
some players are
every
like,
sport,
undoubtedly they would, and some you're like
the defensive era.
Every sport,
scary motherfuckers.
Every sport in the world is objectively the best it's ever been.
Yeah.
The NBA is the best it's ever been. The NFL is the best it's ever been. Any of the other sports, they're the best they've ever been. Like there's never, except for baseball. Baseball is the best when people were on steroids.
Of course.
But like every other sport, we are at the peak.
Yes.
We are at the peak level of playing in that sport, and I would love to see how some of the peak players that we consider translate.
Just to wrap it up, to put a pin on that point, just in particular, quarterback play in the NFL. In the top 10 players. All time in passer rating for quarterbacks, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 active quarterbacks to make that list.
Yeah.
Mahomes is 1, Rodgers is 2, Deshaun Watson is 3. Tied for third is
I would take Watson.
Rodgers and Watson are tied for second. Rodgers and Watson are tied for second. Russell Wilson's 4th. Dak Prescott and Drew Brees are tied at 5th. Drew Brees isn't in the league, but he's active. Kirk Cousins is top 10.
Wow.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Fucking Tom Brady's 8th behind Kirk Cousins in passer rating.
You like that? That's crazy.
That's wild to me.
Yeah.
His run with Minnesota makes up for all the shitty years that he had. Not shitty years, but like the shitty team around him with Washington.
I was going to say, because he was throwing 4,500 yards with those Washington team. Pierre Garcon.
But this is easily the best arc of his career. Like,
Yeah. Well, he's playing with the best receiver he's ever played with.
They're still
Diggs.
in the top 20. Top 20.
Yeah.
He did have Diggs.
Don't sleep on Diggs.
Top 20. There's another 5 active players. Top 20. You've got Matt Ryan at 13, Kyler Murray at 14.
Justin.
It's a little projecting, but
We all love Derek Carr. Derek Carr is the 17 all time. I love Derek Carr too, but I don't know if he's elite. Ryan Tannehill 19.
You don't think he's elite?
Ryan Tannehill 19.
How can you not think that Derek Carr's
Carr's
elite?
He's one of them Derek Carr haters. It's fine.
Josh Allen in his fourth year as a starter, fucking 22 overall. Carson Wentz 22. It's crazy. They're like the best quarterback play is this era.
Yes.
And they're leading league.
Yeah, the best every play is this era, outside of defense.
Jalen Hurts will never see that list.
And that's been the Totally Not Biased podcast.
Dang.